Hello everyone, and welcome to my 18th anniversary live stream here on the main YouTube channel, and I've got something very exciting planned for the Q&A, and we'll also be taking a look back over the channel as well. And yeah, it's crazy to think it's been 18 years. Here's my very first video, so I think, well, I've got the Q&A here, and if I go back to the start, we've got 55 questions submitted already. And we'll leave it on that for now. But I thought, before we check out some of the questions and answer some of the stuff that you guys and girls have put in the comments over the past few days, let's take a look at my very first video together 18 years ago. And hopefully the sound will come through. So, are you ready for this? This is peak YouTube. Let's see if the sound...
It's me, Mario!
Okay, yeah, you guys should be able to hear that. Here we go. 18 years ago today. And I'll give you some context while this is playing. So, obviously I was very excited for the release of Super Mario Galaxy, so that's basically why I made this. And while I was at school one day, I took all of these images off like GameSpot and IGN, and I put them all on a USB stick, and I came home that day and went on to Movie Maker and put this together. And I played around with Movie Maker a little bit before then, but yeah, this was my first like official upload onto YouTube. And let me hide that Q&A box for a second so you can see the whole thing. There you go. What a great start to my channel. It's just a random selection of screenshots to the Mario music and random text with the different review scores on there too. And some cool music in the background. Embarrassing secrets. There'll be tons of embarrassing secrets coming up, don't you worry. And hello to everyone in the chat. There's already so many people in there. Let's see who we've got in here. Vincent Lee 1995, hello. Rustgore 2297, No Hero 271, Levels and Lives, cool username. 2007, that's when the water on Drake's trousers after wading through a pool of water blew my mind on the PS3. Incredible. Incredible times. We've moved on slightly since then. And the music's gone, but the video continues, and there was me figuring out how to do the different colour changing things. Don't worry guys, it's nearly over, then we can move into the Q&A. That's it, there's my first ever video. It's even got some Movie Maker style credits at the end too. Nintendo, there's the first look at what would become Nintendo Wii. Super Mario Galaxy, Friday 16th November! Which is from when that was uploaded in a few days' time, I guess. Yep, that was uploaded November 11th, 2007. And that's it, my first video. This is Mario Galaxy for the Wii. So there you go, that was my first ever video, and 861 videos later, here we are. So let's hide YouTube for a second and bring up the Q&A, and I forgot every time I press a button on the keyboard it goes through, so there's a little sneak preview of some more Q&A stuff to come. So, everyone, are you ready? Let's get started with the first question. And I'm just checking the chat as well. Great game. Wouldn't play it until 5 years after it was released. Thank you. Right, so the first question comes from Deadwoo, and he says, retro and indie games can be a very niche topic. What made you start this channel in the first place? I guess what made me start the channel in the first place was my excitement for Mario Galaxy. But no, I really enjoyed the idea of making videos, and I'd always loved retro games, so I just put two and two together and started this. I mean, I had no plan, as you can probably tell from these early videos. There was no plan in place for what the channel would end up becoming. I watched the Angry Video Game Nerd back then, and me and my friend Jack made this. So we can check this out. This is a homage to the AVGN, we called the Angry Schmergel Nerd Productions. This is not a copy of the Angry Video Game Nerd, but we do admire his work. And yeah, it was awful. You can see the quality of the camera. It was a little, one of those little pocket cameras with a little flip out screen that my parents bought me for Christmas that year. So me and my friend Jack would just make random videos. As you can see, it's just awful. Didn't use a tripod or anything. Didn't really have any concept of what we were attempting to do. I never went into YouTube expecting it to become anything. I just watched a lot of people on YouTube and thought I would give it a go. And yeah, it took a long time for me to actually figure out what I wanted to do. So It's not specifically that I wanted to make anything in a niche topic or anything like that. It's just what I was interested in, and YouTube was the cool new thing at the time, so I thought I would give it a go. And yeah, here we are today, 18 years later, still doing it. Another question here from Deadwoo. What struggles did you endure to maintain constant uploading? Does YouTube make things more difficult nowadays? First of all, I'll answer that question backwards, I guess. No. YouTube's actually a lot easier now than it was before, and I think that's just because I've got better equipment. Like, editing is so much easier for me now. I've got this new MacBook Pro. I can just make a video in a week, no problem. Whereas before, I would have to leave the computer on overnight sometimes for it to render, and obviously the editing software has got a lot better as well. You saw the first ones I was making there in Windows Movie Maker, and that was just awful to use. While we're talking, I'll put another one up. Here's my Legend of Zelda fan video, my second upload. Let's put this one in theatre mode while we're going through the next question. Oh, everyone's very happy that Mario Galaxy was the first video. And yeah, kind of fitting that it's just got a re-release as well. I haven't checked it out on the Switch yet, though. I wasn't that keen on it because I know the controls with the pointer won't be so good using the Joy-Cons, but maybe I'll check it out. So here's my second one. Again, just a random selection of clips that I downloaded in IT class at school, I guess. So anyway, to answer that question, I don't really think YouTube's more difficult. In fact, I think it's easier than it's ever been in terms of making videos and getting stuff out there, so that's definitely not a bad thing. And what struggles did you endure to maintain constant uploading? I did struggle quite a bit at one point because I didn't really feel that good with my presenting skills, so I would really struggle a lot in front of the camera, but I feel like I've improved a lot over the years in that regard, and also just getting better at the editing software as well has made it easier and easier to keep up that constant upload schedule. So I feel like over time it's just got easier and easier, and that's kind of what I expected would happen. And my god, I don't know whether you could hear that, but it was a horrible sound over that video for some reason. Again, with this video, that way, where's the camera? Over there. I had no idea what I was doing. Just threw things together and checked out a bunch of random things that I could find in Movie Maker, but I had a good time doing so. Right, let's move forward. Question number 4, again from Deadwoo. I think this is the last one from Deadwoo, and I'm moving on to some other people. I wanted to try and randomize it, but I couldn't quite figure out how to do that. So, do you have any crucial advice for people who want to start a channel now? Become obsessed with it. That's what I always tell people. I don't know how else to say it. If you want to keep making videos, you need to be thinking of nothing but doing that and just constantly try and keep improving. That's my main thing, and it is a bit of an obsession, I'll be honest, but at the same time it's something I love doing. So find something that you're really passionate about in terms of things that you can just carry on making videos for 18 years and not even think about it. Become really interested in video technology. I'm not even using my nice camera now, I'm just using a little webcam, but for my main videos you can probably tell that I've constantly kept trying to improve things over the years. So yeah, find something you're interested in, get interested in making videos, and then just go for it and see where it takes you. That's all I've done. Right, next question, number 5, from Greg Cord 3886. What video game memories do you have from your actual 18th birthday? So my actual 18th birthday would have been 2 years into the channel, so that would have been 2009. Let's see what I uploaded in March 2009. It could have been the Trackmania review. I think that came out around that time. Oh my god. So here's a fun story with this intro here. So this intro is all fake. I thought I would throw something together to basically make it look like all the other channels that I watched, where it would have like flashes of all their different videos that they've done. But yeah, it's all fake, but enjoy this intro. It's just me in various different angles showing things. And I was a big fan of Sonic 06 back then too. So it was just a bunch of my favourite games flashing by really fast and me pretending to talk about things. And obviously I had no idea about lighting or anything like that either. But it's pretty funny. Let's see when this was uploaded. So November 2008. So I would have been 17 at the time here.
DS review.
Can you hear that?
I won't be reviewing Trackmania for the DS.
You can tell I had no idea how to talk in front of the camera. Had no idea how to record the screen. Oh, it's a fun game. I enjoyed, basically found something I enjoyed and made a video about it, and that's it. Like, there was no thought put into the production value of this video at all. So, like I was saying before, just don't even worry about it. Just make something you're interested in, and over time, you'll pick up the skills to do something better. Like, no one in their right mind would choose to watch this today. Look at this. It's awful. Even for 2008 standards, it's awful. Anyway, I was trying to find one from my 18th birthday. I do have one really cool thing from my 18th birthday, which I can show you in a minute, but I wanted to try and find out what I was kind of doing then. So maybe it was my Nights into Dreams review. Let's see when that was released. December 2008. I did upload a lot back then. Ninja Bread Man, that was a fun video to make. If you record it, they won't come. Eventually. Give them 18 years and they might show up.
But it's not.
Let's see when this one was uploaded. January 2009. Getting closer. This was probably the first video that I actually put some effort into.
What am I going to play?
Again, there was barely any thought put into it, but I enjoyed it. And you can see I'm actually like doing a little bit of editing. There's different camera angles and things, and there's music going. But yeah, anyway, let's find one that was in March. So that was in January. SSX retrospective. Oh my god, I put a lot of time into this one. And the good thing about this time in my life as well, I was at college at the time, and that was February, and I had basically just 3 days in college, and then I had 2 days at home on my own while my parents were both at work. So I would spend all my time, like, this was recorded during the day on like a Wednesday afternoon when everyone else was out of the house, and I had so much fun coming up with all of these ideas. And look at that, look how cinematic that is. That's so cool. And for some reason there's, what game was this from? Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. But yeah, for some reason there was Shadow of the Colossus background music in a video for SSX. So again, there was barely any thought put into it, but you can see, like, I was trying to improve in whatever way I could think of. And now it's got Sonic Unleashed music for some reason. And it's barely a retrospective, it's just like insanely loud Sonic music put over random clips from the games. And now there's crazy taxi music. Oh, that's pretty cool. This song here, let me turn this back up for a second. Dreams of an Absolution by Bentley Jones. I actually met him last week in London, and I bought his CDs off him and got them signed as well, which was really cool. So yeah, that was around my birthday anyway. But let me go and show you what I actually wanted to show you from my 18th birthday, which is back here somewhere. There it is. Right, it's here. And just speaking of Bentley Jones for a second, here's the CDs that I picked up. Absolution Volume 1 and 2, and they're both signed on the inside as well, which is so cool. So going back 18 years and seeing that I loved his music back then, and, you know, I never would have thought that I would ever meet him in person. Anyway, let's get rid of the Q&A box for a second and the YouTube overlay. This is what I got for my 18th birthday, and I was so excited to have this. This is probably the one game more than anything else that I'd been talking about, thinking about, dreaming about. There you go. It was Chrono Trigger Complete in Box. And it never came out in the UK, so I was very, very thankful to my parents for actually buying me this on my birthday. And since then, I've got it signed by the designer, Hironobu Sakaguchi himself. And it's still in immaculate condition. I've kept it really safe all of these years. And I'm really surprised I didn't actually do a video on it when I got it, but I don't know why I didn't. I really should have, just to have that memory. But yeah, really, really fun memory there from my 18th birthday, and it is one of my prized possessions, and I will look after it forever, I'm sure. So let's get the Q&A and the YouTube back up. And it's just skipped ahead a lot, because I forgot every time I press a button, it moves forward. So we are now on number 6 out of 55, which is from NCS 07. What is your favourite 2025 game so far? My God, what have I actually played that came out this year? I will consult Backloggery, and I'll let you guys see this as well, because I've had this website. Did I click on the wrong thing? Yeah, that's my website. There's Backloggery. Here's my website. If you didn't know, I have a website where I upload all my videos to. Got my podcasts there, which I haven't uploaded in a while, so I need to get back to doing more podcasts soon, I think. And I also write a few blog posts as well. And if you ever want to check out any other streams for any of the games that I've played, you can actually come here and see all of the playlists for all the games that I've played over on Twitch and on YouTube. But that's beside the point. Let's have a look at what I've played this year. So let's check out the history. Oh, Kronos the New Dawn. That was a really good game. So I beat that one a few weeks ago, and I was really impressed by it, actually. I played the demo at Gamescom in Germany earlier in the year, and I was really excited to play it, and I really enjoyed my time with it as well. So I would probably say it's Kronos. I have Silent Hill F to play, which I haven't played just yet. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, really good. I've been really enjoying that. Yay, thank you, Bart TV. To be honest, I barely watch live streams as well, just because I'm too busy making videos. So thank you everyone who's decided to drop by while we're doing this. I'm really excited to do it on the main channel as well. And JBQS9NF said he bought an Everdrive 64 because of my review earlier in the year. Thanks a lot. Awesome. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you found some cool games to play. I really liked Tithe in Blood, but I don't think that came out this year. So I would probably say, so far this year, Kronos. But maybe that'll change. I'll do a video at the end of the year where I talk about my favourite games. So that was that question. Let's move forward to the next one, which is from Saeed ZK7LV. What a great username. How do you manage your backlog? Wow, convenient. I literally had Backloggery open right now, and that wasn't planned, but that's actually lined up perfectly. So let's zoom in a bit so you guys in the back can see. So here we go. This is Backloggery. I've had it for 14 years now. You can see that I joined on the 11th of June, 2011. So that's pretty cool. Or I think it was that. I don't know if that's an American date format. But whatever. The website is really good, and it's actually changed fairly recently. I actually preferred the old layout, but don't tell anyone. So basically, this is where I add all of the games that I've bought. So if you go on Library, you can see a list here of all of the different games that I bought for all the different consoles, and it basically breaks it down here into how many are unplayed, unfinished, how many are beaten, how many are completed, how many I've added this year, and I mean I've got in total. And you can search on the backlog as well. So if I'm, I don't know, at an event or something and I want to find out which, for example, which Castlevania games are missing. Oh, I just realised every time I type it's going to move the question. So yeah, if I type in a game name like that, it'll bring back how many I've got for that series or that game. It'll tell you what console they're on, if I've reviewed them or not. You can see the review score that I gave it, and some of them you can also add notes. So if you're playing it, you can add notes in there as well. I really love this site. I've used it now for 14 years. Yeah, and I still use it pretty much daily. And it's definitely my favourite way of tracking my games. And you've got a now playing list up here as well. So like Donkey Kong Bonanza, I've been playing that. Put a note in there. And you can go through and you can say what like format they're in, what region they're in, what status they're on. And if you save or if you stealth save, that goes into this multi-tap here, which is how other people can see what you've been doing as well. So this is like everyone I follow. You can see their gameplay in progress too. And if I go on notifications, you can see that some people have liked my recent posts as well, where I bought games, or some people have been talking to me about games that I played. You can look back over previous year's history, which is really useful for these end-of-year videos that I do, where I have a look at all the games that I've played. So you can come in, you can see all the games that you've added on a certain date, you can see which ones you've finished, which ones you completed. So yeah, great website. Use it pretty much all the time. And you can also see a split by all the different systems as well, which is very useful. If I'm making one of my top games videos, I can just come down here and say, I don't know, let's have a look in Game Boy Color, and then I can just pick out some games that I want to do. I'm also adding lists on here as well, so going through some of the videos that I've made, like top 15 GameCube games, and actually listing them out on here. So if anyone comes to my Backloggery, you can actually find the games that I've featured in the videos. So yeah, pretty cool. Really cool website, actually. So definitely recommend it if anyone wants to check it out. I'll actually put a link in the chat. There you go. So go and sign up for Backloggery. It's a great way of tracking your game collection. And I am seeing more questions coming through, and I'll add them into this file. So I will get around to them. So keep your questions coming. So let's close that off for now, and let's move over to number 8, which is also from the same person that I'm not going to try and pronounce again. How do you keep focused on a few games without being distracted by others? That basically comes straight back to this again, where I just use the now playing list. So these are the games that I'm planning to play through. I haven't played anything for a while, and that's why they've actually grayed out. Like if I make a change on there, and then maybe it won't work if it's still saved, but they light up basically. So there's kind of like some sort of priority order. So that's that one. Number 9, also from the same person. What do you think is better, retro games or modern games? What am I going to say to that? Oh, I wonder. Have a look behind me. Honestly, it really depends on what game you're playing as to whether it's any good or not. I don't think time makes any difference. I honestly, before I started my YouTube channel, and especially before I rebranded to Retro Break, I never actually differentiated between them. I just thought games are games. Like when I was growing up, I had NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Master System, Mega Drive, Saturn, Dreamcast. I would just play all of them. I wouldn't care whether it was old or new. I just cared if a good game was a good game, and that was good enough for me. So I can't answer that question. All games are either good or bad, depending on what game you play. That's all there is to it. Johnny SoCal, how do you feel about gaming practices nowadays, like requiring online subs, patches, DLCs, etc.? On the whole, I find it kind of annoying, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. DLC can be cool if it's done right, like if it's actually adding new things to the games, then it's, it's a cool way of adding to the longevity of the game without making you buy a sequel. So I guess it's good in that sense. Patches are also good, but also some people say that maybe that's why quality has kind of slipped, because they know they can patch things after they're released. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but on the whole, I'd say maybe a controversial take, but I actually do feel like online things enhance games more than they detract from them. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments and in the chat what you guys think about that question. That's an interesting one. Now, the next one here from Hatalmus. What games are the ones you have the best memories about? Call them your most loved games for each console you've owned, if possible. That is a long one. Maybe not each console I've owned, because I've got a lot, but let's have a think about some of the consoles I grew up with, maybe. What games are the ones that you have the best memories about? I will always say for the NES, it's Mega Man 4. And I wonder if I've got any... Let's get the web browser back up, see if there's any early videos of games that I have fond memories of. Nights into Dreams. Definitely have very fond memories of this one. So, oh my god, have a look at the intro to this. Look at the lighting. The quality of that is so bad. Hey, Thomas is in the chat. Hello. Thanks for the question. So, yeah, to answer, Nights into Dreams. Definitely. I can't believe how bad the quality is. Look at that. That's hilarious.
Hope you enjoy it. Hello, this is a review of one of Sega's finest games. Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn.
Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn.
This is a menu screen where you can select which stage you want.
It's so bad. I've come a long way. But yeah, Nights into Dreams on the Saturn. I have really fond memories of that. Because I did a lot of research into it. I never actually had a Sega Saturn growing up. I had a friend who had one, but I never actually had one personally. But I was looking at like what are the best games for it, and Nights always came up in the top games recommendations for that console. So that was the first game that I wanted for it, and it absolutely blew me away. And it really made me upset that I never had a Sega Saturn growing up as well. And it's still a game I play at least once a year all the way through. And yeah, looking back on this review, just again, random Sonic Unleashed music. I loved Sonic Unleashed. Hey, Gianjo's here as well. How are you doing? Thank you for the congratulations. But yeah, Nights into Dreams. Oh my god, look at those movie maker effects that I put on it. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking, that's the thing, but I was having fun. And that's what matters, isn't it? At the end of the day. So yeah, for Sega Saturn, Nights into Dreams, definitely. For the original Nintendo, has to be Mega Man 4. I'm surprised I didn't do a video on Mega Man 4 back then, because that was one that I was like always thinking about. Let's see, what else? I was really obsessed with Sonic Unleashed back then for some reason. Starwing. I loved Starwing growing up. That was a really fun one. Oh, this WarioWare Snapped review, this actually got more views than Nintendo's official video for WarioWare Snapped. And enjoy some more retro break on this one. I didn't even introduce it, I just went straight into it. This is the menu.
Blocks has 5 mini games on, and that's it. That's the whole game. Just 20 mini games.
There we go. There I am.
Okay, here we go. 5 to go.
This was another one of those videos that I made during the day. One of my days off in college. And it's not even on the desk, it's just on my bed, and I think I propped the camera up on a bunch of books on the chair next to me. Trackmania is another game that I have really fond memories of growing up. I did a Let's Play of Mega Man 2 apparently, but not 4. Kirby's Fun Pack as well, that was one that I played constantly as a kid. I pretty much know that entire game off by heart at this point. So yeah, there's some of the early ones that I have really fond memories of. I'll probably do a video in the future about specific consoles and memories. Right, Spider Sloth 2.0. Which indie games do you consider on par with official game titles? Not really quite sure how to answer that one or what they really mean. I don't know. Anyone in the chat, can you help me out with what that might mean? Does he mean homebrew games, maybe? Homebrew games on par with official titles would probably make more sense. I would say definitely that one that was made for Crunchyroll. I can't remember the name of it just now. I did a review of it. As a YouTuber child, I'm sure you had issues recording at home. Yes. Well, that's why I would record when Mum and Dad were at work and I had my day off at college. That's how I got through most of my videos back then. So, yeah, official game titles on par indie releases. I would probably say that Crunchyroll one. And there's probably a bunch of other really high-quality Game Boy homebrew ones that I'm blanking on at the minute. But yeah, definitely check those out. Right, Dragonfly Knights. How have you found 2025 as a year for gaming? I think, like I said on Backloggery, I've probably only played 2 or maybe 3 games that actually came out this year. Well, the Switch 2 came out this year as well, didn't it? And I enjoyed Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, so I'd say it's a pretty good year overall. I don't usually play many games that get released in the year. That's why at the end of the year I do my videos, which are like the best games that I played during the year, rather than the best games that came out that year. So that's my answer to that one. It's been okay, I guess. No different to any others. Hime's Quest. Yeah, that's it. Right, another one here from Spidersloth 2.0. Can we expect some collab of some retro co-op games with Risuchu? Risuchu's in the chat right now. Do you want to answer that one for the stream? Do we have any retro co-op collabs planned in the coming weeks or months? If she's still there. I know we do, but I don't have the game to show it because it's in her room. And it is a game called... Let's see if she's still here. I don't think she's here anymore. Drum roll. I can't type because it's going to move the video forward. We are planning to play Resident Evil Outbreak Files 1 and 2 using a PS2 emulator to be able to try and play them over the internet. So that'll be really fun. And we'll both try and stream that over on Twitch, I think. So that'll be really fun. Oh, she says we haven't got plans. She lies. Don't listen to her. We have plans. We're going to play Resident Evil Outbreak Files. It's been a long time coming as well, but apparently there's some way that you can get it to work online using the emulator, which sounds really cool. And maybe Dead Space 3. I don't know whether that counts. as I don't know whether that counts as a retro game or not. Maybe. I think it came out like 16 years ago, 15 maybe, something like that. Oh yeah, there you go. Right, question number 15. What do you do for work, and how did you get there? What do I do for work? Oh my god, do I want to answer that one? Risu can tell you how stressed out I am at work at the minute, and basically, what do I even do? I'm making housing management software for various different councils around the UK, but talking to them is a bit of a pain, and things are kind of slow going. And a lot of Microsoft things like SharePoint and PowerShell, Power Apps, things like that. So basically, IT company doing random Microsoft development stuff and trying not to get too frustrated with people who don't know anything about technology. How I got there was when I finished uni. I actually did a game design course at uni, and when I finished it and came back home, there weren't any game jobs available, especially not here where I am. So I was just having a look at random graduate jobs, and one came up for an IT company. So I started there, got moved around back and forth, learned something called SharePoint, and then applied for this job that I'm at now, which is a remote job where I'm doing SharePoint and a whole bunch of other Microsoft things. And that's as much that I want to say about work for now. And this next question is a little bit too big. Let's see whether I can do anything about that. Maybe not. Maybe this. Can I make it a bit smaller? I am not allowed to make it smaller. Can I change the size of the font? Let's see. There we go, and I'll change it back after. You can join too, hardcore. I don't know how many people Outbreak Files supports. Is it like a everyone's in the same world kind of thing? I really know nothing about it. I just know it's on the PS2 and it's one we haven't played. Anyway, question 16 from the Thrash King 92. I almost called you the Trash King. Hey, 92 as well. Same as me. With the volume of games that you play, do you often find it difficult to beat or finish the games that you play? And if so, does it bother you to play a game without finishing it? I'll be completely honest, 99% of the time I don't play a game with the intention of finishing them. I more play the game with the intention of figuring out whether it was worth playing in the first place, what people would have thought of it at the time, and maybe just experiencing a few levels and seeing whether it's something I want to carry on with or not. Like I showed earlier, I've got Backlog to try and track my progress. So I have finished a lot of games. Like there's 509 from my collection that I have finished. So some of them I carry on. Like Soul Blazer was amazing, and I actually played all the way through that on stream. That was such a fun game. I really enjoyed that, and I definitely want to do a video about that at some point in the future as well. So honestly, yeah, it depends how I feel about the game. Obviously, with the volume of games that I've got, it's harder and harder to dedicate the time to actually finishing them. But that's not really why I play games. I play games for different experiences, and basically once I feel like that experience has kind of exhausted all of its possibilities for me, then I'll move on to something else, rather than wasting my time trying to play something that might become a bit samey. I know some people don't think like that, but that's how I play games, I guess. I'm happy with it, although it does mean that I maybe have a few too many games compared to most people, because I don't really care about finishing them that much. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. Let me know in the chat what other people think about that. And this is also another big question, so I'll leave the font size the same for this one. This one comes from Derule514. Your thoughts and impressions on Pokemon Legends ZA. Do you like it? Do you prefer it over Legends Arceus? Does it deserve the criticism, and do you recommend the game? I was talking about this to Risu earlier because she was actually playing it on stream earlier today, and it's okay, I guess. I'm not really a fan. I don't think it's as good as Arceus, but I don't think it's terrible either. It's not really anything exciting. I don't really think it... I don't know. It's just a 5 out of 10 game for me. I don't really know if there's much else to say. I haven't really felt the need to pick it back up again after I played it for the first time, so maybe that says something about the quality of it. But I hear that Risu's enjoying it more now that she's been playing it a bit more, so maybe it picks up. But yeah, definitely not as good as Arceus or any of the older Pokemon games prior to the 3DS. But it's okay. I guess Game Freak could do better. Let's see, what's next? Another one from Darul. What is your favourite Pokemon hack and fan game, and why? I haven't really played many. There was one I was playing on the 3DS. I've got my 3DS right here, actually. I can't remember the name of it, so let me boot up the GBA emulator and I'll tell you. I haven't played... have I played any Pokemon fan games? I played that Pokemon Fusion one that came out while I was at uni. Royal Sapphire, that's the mod that I've been playing. It's pretty fun. It doesn't really seem that different to the main game, other than it's a bit harder. It gives you 100 rare candies for some reason. And, oh, there's a good example. I'll get rid of the website. There you go. There's grass in the town as well. That's the other thing that I wanted to say about this hack, which is kind of interesting. I don't think there's any retro Pokemon game that has grass inside the cities. Let's see what Pokemon we get before we move on. Whoa, execute. Okay. Let's leave that there. So, yeah, fan game, I've probably only played one, which was that Pokemon Fusion one. Can't remember the name of it. And that Royal Sapphire. So... oh my god, I thought I got rid of this question. It's still there. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I'll let chat answer that one. Let's move on. From Verdant Sea, what is your favourite game system of all time? Let's make that a little bit bigger again. There we go. My favourite game system of all time has to be... can you have a guess? A lot of people think it's that. It's not that. It is the Super Nintendo, and it probably always will be, because that's the one that I grew up with. I'm sure a lot of people's favourite systems are just the ones they played the most as a kid, and mine happens to be the Super Nintendo. And there's a chat message here from James Stefano 801. I'm similar. I aspire to finish games, but then I fall off when I get the urge to start another game that happens to grab my interest. Wish you could finish more. Yeah, basically the same way, and I feel like I don't really spend that much time playing games, so I could play one game and finish it over like maybe 2 months, but in that time there'll be like 10 more games that I want to play, and I feel like I haven't had time to check them out. So it's difficult, especially now I've got like a full-time job and I'd like to do videos every week. Alright, next one, also from Verdant Sea. What's your favourite GBA game? And I wonder whether I'm going to contradict my favourite GBA game from my top GBA games video, which I know is my #1 most watched video of all time now. Look at that, over 500,000 views. That's just insane. So, wow, what did I say? Let's see whether I can... okay, so a hot dog is a sandwich. It's confirmed. Good. Oh man, what did I say was my favourite GBA game? I'm going to say Advance Wars 2. Yeah, I think it was Advance Wars 2. Let's find out.
Different movement options, and it's
Look at this intro, by the way. I was really proud of this intro.
For the Game Boy Advance. And to make this video
look at all the games all over the shelves. Oh, have we lost sound? Can you still hear me? You can still hear me, but you can't hear the video anymore. There we go, you should be able to hear it again now.
In at number 15.
Yeah, did you like that intro? I put a little bit of extra effort into this one, and it seems to have worked because a lot of people watched it.
To my top 15
anyway, let's see what #1 was. We had Gunstar Future Heroes, amazing game.
You wouldn't really expect that from this kind of
I want to do
Treasure
a
really
video
knows
about Treasure at
how
some
to
point
get
in the
the
future
best
too.
possible movement out of the characters. There's so many different movement options, and it's just a joy to play.
Let's move this
I know
up a
some
bit so you
people
can see the
don't
bottom
really
of the video.
like the helicopter stages, which kind of make people a little bit motion sick.
There we go,
So
that's
look
better.
away now. if you do suffer from that. But I really don't mind them that much at all. I think it's a pretty interesting
You can
effect.
hear me
And
talking
the
over
rest of the
myself. I
game
didn't
is
realise.
out-
Let's close this down. Yeah, it's like an exam. What is the top game from my top games video? I sometimes wear an awesome Tetris t-shirt. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments on my last video said they really loved that Tetris t-shirt. I got it from Uniqlo in Japan, I think. So I don't think you can actually get it online or in the UK or anything. Anyway, let's find out what my top GBA game was. I'm getting distracted. So we had Gunstar Future Heroes, Sonic Advance 2, Kuro in Paradise, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, Monkey Ball Jr., Astro Boy, not Astrobot. Golden Sun was 9, that was when I said it was. Spyro Season of Flame, Crash Bandicoot XS. For some reason, the most replayed section of the video is me going to Crash Bandicoot. Look at my hair there, that's bad. Why is this my most watched video? This is a really great game, by the way. I love the Crash and Spyro games for the GBA. Obviously, it's a great game. I included it in my Great Games video. I would be contradicting myself if it wasn't. Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, WarioWare Twisted, Mega Man. Oh, Mega Man Battle Network is so good. I got Mega Man Battle Network 4 Blue the other day as well, and I want to play through all of them. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, which means I was right. Advance Wars 2 and 1. Technically Advance Wars 2. It's definitely my most played game on the system. There we go. So yeah, I was correct. That is my favourite GBA game. Let's go to the next question. Number 22. Oh my god, he tested me again. Okay. Quiz round 2. What is my favourite GBC game? Well, let's find out where my GBC video ranks in comparison to the GBA one. Nowhere near as high. The original Game Boy one's climbing like 283,000. That's just insane. Like, why don't people watch my other videos? Why are they just watching the top games videos? I do so many more interesting things than them. It's annoying. Let's keep going. Right, top 20 Game Boy Color games there. And I know there was also a part 2 where I did exclusive games. So that's 2 for me to try and remember. Let's see. Top Game Boy Color. Oh my god, what did I choose? What did I choose? Top 20 Game Boy Color. Link's Awakening DX. For this one, which is the dual release ones. Let's see what else I'm going. Oh my god, this video, by the way, this is the reason that I bought a new MacBook, because I just could not get this video to export properly at all. And a little thing right at the start of this one, you'll only be able to see it if you go right back. Can you see on the side of the screen how it's got these like little squares? That is because I completely gave up trying to export this video, and I actually screen recorded the video in the editing software. So I had my laptop open the whole time and I screen recorded the entire thing. So that bit down the side is actually before you press play in the editor. And that is why this video is also like a little bit weird in terms of the frame rate and stuff. But I don't think anyone noticed, and it's clearly done fine. And I did a little bit of an intro, and let's see, where's Zelda? Zelda was number 2! It was gold and silver! Okay. I failed. I failed myself. I love Link's Awakening though, but yeah, maybe Pokemon Gold and Silver does deserve to be above it. Anyway, that's what I chose a year ago. October 19th, 2024. That's when I was having all these computer issues. I'm so glad they're all fixed now. In fact, all the money that I'm getting from YouTube is being used at the minute to pay for this top-of-the-line MacBook Pro that I'm streaming on now, and done all the editing for everything since this video. So if you've noticed things improve since then, that's because I've got a lot more power to be able to do all these effects on the screen at the same time, whereas it really couldn't handle it before. So anyway, in terms of my top 20 exclusive games, is this one going to be Pokemon Crystal? Yeah, it is. And Oracle. So the last two are basically the same. Still Zelda. You can actually see the improvement straight away because this is one that actually exported properly. The sound died again for some reason. But yeah, look at the improvement in the quality. This was like the first one that I made with the new computer, so I could export in like proper 10-bit 4K, and you'll also notice everything's a lot clearer. And like even the backgrounds and things, like it just works a lot better. So yeah, anyway, in terms of favourite GBC games, they were both Pokemon. And Gian, I see your question there. I will add all the questions into the text file, and they will be added to it. And if I don't get around to it, I might do a follow-up video where I can answer some more questions as well, because there's a lot to get through. But I'm going to be here for a few hours, I think, so it's fine. I'm really excited that so many people were interested. Risu says people blamed their own internet. Probably. What does that crown mean? It says number 3. Oh, Gion's overtaken you. He's number 3 now. Levels and Lives number 2. And Jarrett Outdoor is number 1. Somehow. Congratulations to you 3. So, Verdant C again. They had a lot of questions. Will you buy physical games that don't have the data on the card or disc? What do you think about collecting games like these? I think all my Switch 2 games are downstairs. I did buy Yakuza 0 for the Switch 2, which is obviously a key card. I guess it's the only option. I really hate that it's an option, but if that's all that people are going to do and the alternative's getting a download, I would still rather have the key card, because at least there's something to show in videos more than anything, because I really like doing my pickups videos, and if they're all digital, don't have anything to show for that, so that's kind of annoying. I did also see earlier today that they've announced that Pokepedia game, I think it's called Pokepedia, that's going to be a game key card, and that's actually published by Nintendo, so that's not great. So yeah, really not happy about it, and I always say it every generation, but maybe I'll go digital only next gen and just stick to actual retro things. I don't know yet, but yeah, not happy about it. It's not good. How much time do you spend on average playing video games? Barely any time at all, to be honest. I spend most of my time making videos or being on the phone at work recently. But yeah, I spend most of my time either planning videos, going to events, or reading manga. I don't really play games that often, outside of games to record to do videos anyway. I somehow managed to play all the way through Chronos, but that's like the only proper game that I've played all year, really, all the way to the end. So maybe I should try and find some time to play more games, and I don't know, I'm happy doing what I'm doing, but yeah, maybe, I don't know, yeah, not very much time at all, really, just like maybe a few hours a week. It used to be a lot more. Oh my god, another one from Verdant C. I'd ask what your favourite game of all time is, but I think I know the answer. Bubble Bobble. Well, no, it's not Bubble Bobble. Clearly, you haven't watched my top games of all time video. Let's see where that was. I released that one at the start of the year. It is here. Top 25 games of all time. Shall we do another quiz? Although I definitely already know what the answer to this one is. I really enjoyed making this video, by the way. Hey, Starlax here as well. Thank you for the happy anniversary. Really appreciate that. So yeah, my top game of all time. Some of you should know. There it is. Illusion of Time. I still haven't made a video on it or played it at all. iHeartRadio, hello as well. Yeah, Gian knows. I should have asked the chat first. Who knows what my favourite game of all time is? Well, there it is. I'll see. I've got the box right there. Let me go and get you the box. And something else really cool as well. Okay. 3 really cool things. 3 really cool things related to Illusion of Time. So let me get rid of YouTube for a second. There we go. So here's the game, first of all. We take it out there so it's not all shiny on the camera. What about everyone in chat? What are your favourite games of all time? Here's mine. It's got a little bit of peeling off at the bottom there. Not the best condition, but this is the original one that I got. And I actually got this game when I was in college, and I saw it in the window in Game Station, and it was kind of like that way up in the window. So all I saw was that one... Try and get rid of my face so it'll focus on that. It's not focusing. I should have used my proper camera. Oh, this is awkward. There we go. So I just saw that one screenshot of Will going around in that a bit, killing some bugs. And I thought, hey, that looks pretty interesting. And I didn't actually buy it when I first saw it. I actually went back the day after. So it's really lucky that it was still there. And I paid $14.99 for it, apparently. And I played it all night. Like, I got home from college that day, and the manual's not in there. It must be somewhere else. Actually, I remember paying a bit more than that. Let's see. Oh, I paid less. Okay. Did I? No, I paid 20, and I... What? What the hell? Okay. Oh my god, this... I just figured out what this was. I thought it was me trading in games. Wow. Okay, we're going to stay on this one for a while. So first of all, look at this. This one gives some of you some nostalgia. Look at that. Who misses Game Station? I hope everyone misses Game Station. It's very faded, but on here... Well, it actually shows up better on the camera than it did in real life. So where's the date? On there... 4th of February 2009. That's when I first got the game. And I actually bought 3 games because they used to do their bog off deal, buy one get one free. So I got Sonic Jam, Panzer Dragoon 2 on the Sega Saturn, and Illusion of Gaia. I don't know why it's scanned in as Illusion of Gaia if it's the UK version. And I got all 3 of them for $19.99. That's insane. That would cost like well over 100 quid today. I'm so glad I've still got that. I didn't even know that was in the box. It was there under the cartridge. $19.99 for 3 retro games in 2009. Oh my god, I feel so bad for anyone buying retro games today. Game Station was just incredible, and I have Game Station to thank for like the entire of that Dreamcast and Mega Drive section. Oh man, yeah, so Game Station was amazing, and that's where I got it from. And I've got some more really cool stuff to show you from Illusion of Time. So this is something I got off Etsy. This is the main character Will, and he's a little bit dusty. This is a clay figure of one of my favourite scenes in the game, so I was really happy to see when someone said they were making Illusion of Time figures. I bought that. And also someone made me this custom frame as well, and it does have music and lights, but I think the battery's dead. But yeah, this was something that I asked for from Archives. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but yeah, it's a really cool little 3D diorama of the game. And also someone bought me a big poster of the world map from Illusion of Time as well, which I think is in the loft at the minute. And I noticed I've missed some things in the chat as well. Let's see. Gion says their favourite game of all time is either Dragon Quest V or Hollow Knight. And also, yes, Risu, want some chat lore? Want some lore chat? You're lapping up all my Retro Break lore right now. I should do a lore video at some point. Well, I'm planning to do a video about my 18 years on YouTube as well and go into more details. Hello, SSX 979. Hello, thank you for joining. So let's see what everyone else has been saying. Close second favourite is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on the NES. Okay. And Zelda 3 is your number 1 favourite. Cool. And Jarrett Outdoors says their favourite game of all time is Star Siege. I don't know that one. Diablo 2, Warcraft, and Command & Conquer. Wow, okay, you were a PC gamer growing up then. I haven't played any of them. Starlock says, I remember when GameStation and CEX were trying to dump their Mega Drive and SNES games in the early 2000s. I haven't got it to show in this video, but I actually sent a email to GameStation head office telling them to stop dumping their games because it's going to ruin gaming history and it's too important to do that, and let me buy them all, but they never replied to me. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Balomus, what is the best deal you have ever gotten on a game? I know Risu Chu will know the answer to this one. Let me go and find it, and fingers crossed the receipt is inside as well, because this one is a unbelievable story, so I hope there's something to back me up. Let's have a look back here. Oh, okay. So, it's here. Oh, no, I meant it as actually dumping. Apparently they were sending some games that didn't sell very well to landfill. GameStation did. And I'm pretty sure that was proven as well, back in, like, 2010. Yeah, so I was literally telling them, don't throw your games in the bin. Because they actually were. And, yeah, they wouldn't do anything about it. Like, I knew they were just throwing them in the tip. I'm sure it was just things like FIFA and stuff, like things that I actually couldn't sell. Yes, anyway, here it is. See, Risu knew what I was talking about. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness I got from Blockbuster, and the reason I got it so cheap is because they actually had it wrong on the system, but they said they had to sell it to me for the price that it came through on the system. I got it for 50p. Yep, I got Pokemon Gale of Darkness for 50p, and now this game's like £200. So that's an amazing deal. I also remember I got Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 for 50p as well from a boot sale, but that's not quite as exciting because the game's nowhere near as hard to get as Pokemon Gale of Darkness. But yeah, that is my prized bargain game for sure. Let's see what other people say. Gunstar Heroes for $5.99. That's cool. I don't actually own Gunstar Heroes separately. I only own it as part of the... I was seeing if it was on the shelf there. The Sega Classics collection, the one that's got the 3 games on there. I can't remember what the other ones are. We're going to have to change the size of the text for this one. Balamus has a big question coming up. There we go, let's see what they have to say. What is the one game or series that hasn't had any new releases in a while that you feel could be really good with some modern game design philosophies and a burp and technical improvements if a new game came out tomorrow? Let me try and get my head around what they're trying to ask there. What is one game or series that hasn't had any new releases in a while that you feel could be really good with some modern game design philosophies? A new game or series. Well, I know a series that I would love to come back. Rocket Knight Adventures. They released the trilogy of the original 3 games, but they haven't made a new one. I would really like to see what they would do with a new Rocket Knight game. And Nights into Dreams as well. It's been since, I don't know, 2007. So 18 years since the last proper Nights into Dreams game. I think it'd be really cool if they did one with today's modern graphics. Imagine playing one in VR as well. That would be amazing. I would also love to see a new Golden Sun game. That's been way too long, and Camelot are still around. And I can't really think of anything else. Obviously, I would love Quintet to come out with a new game, but I don't really see that ever happening apart from random remakes of ActRaiser every now and then. Let's make the font a little bit bigger again. I just wanted to make sure that people can see the questions on their phones as well if they're watching that way. Hey, DK Riku's here. Yes, we need a new Golden Sun game. I remember back in the day all of the rumours that there would be one on the GameCube, and that never came true. Apparently it was in the works, but nothing was ever shown of it, which is really sad because I really do think it would have done really well on the GameCube, a proper 3D RPG. Any other games that anyone else would like to see modern remakes for, or a new game in the series? Okay, next question is from Indinox64. Do you think retro game collecting is in need of improvement? If so, in what ways? I would like to see... Well, I was going to say I would like to see it more common in actual retail shops instead of just gaming markets and online, but all the shops seem to be dying off. Like, it would have been great if Game also still had the retro section like GameStation did. I know CEX does, and I'm really glad that they do, but that's like the only option, unless you want to go to an independent shop, which are kind of few and far between. So I think it would be really cool if somewhere kind of similar to that, like HMV or Forbidden Planet, if they had a retro section and if they did deals as well, it might mean that CEX wasn't completely free to just charge whatever they feel like based on eBay prices. Maybe that would make things a little bit fairer. Like, one of the reasons that I enjoyed collecting so much back in the day was actually going into shops just in the town centre, not having to like drive way out my way to go to an independent shop or something, but to just go to the town centre, walk through a few game shops and find a bunch of really cool retro games like I did, like I showed off with the receipt in here. Like, it was just so much fun, and you don't really get that spontaneity these days. Like, game collecting and buying is still really fun. Like, I just came back from the London gaming market and I had an amazing time, but it's something you really have to go out your way for, and you have to pay to go there. You have to go to an event that's full of people and they know the price of everything. It's just not, it's not the same sort of instant gratification like it is just walking around on your lunch break and picking something up. Like I said, you can kind of do that with CEX, but it's not the same. So yeah, that could do with improving. I would say prices, but honestly, the prices do fluctuate and they are kind of fair, and you can still get some games that are fairly cheap. And I tried showing that off and absolutely no one cared. Let me show you something on my channel for a second. So, let's see. Okay. Compare this video here. Top Game Boy Color exclusive games. 47,000 views. Top 10 affordable games, 8,000. And I did the same with the Game Boy Color. I thought, maybe I can make a series of this. Top 10 affordable Game Boy Color games. Games that you can buy for under £10 that are really fun to play, 5,000 views. And then I do another random top games list, 65,000 views. So it seems like people don't care about the price. Or it seems like people are just going to emulate them anyway, so they don't care about how much they actually cost in real life. But yeah. Either way, it's okay, I think. And I probably won't do more affordable games videos because no one seems to care, which is kind of a shame, but there you go. Let me know if you'd like me to do them. I can always just throw them out there every now and then. Let's see what the chat's saying before we move on to the next question. Where are we? There's a lot going on. Still praying for Final Fantasy IX Remake. Leak is true. I mean, they would probably do 8 before 9, right? But it would be cool if they went through them all, like Capcom's doing with the Resident Evil series. They're really good remakes. How do you? Oh, I'll answer the questions later. I'm going to put them back into the form once we got through these ones. Starlock says you'll need a step-down converter to plug in your NTSC consoles. Crimson. Oh, okay. I think I missed something there. And I loved the Game Boy compilation video. Thank you. Oh, you mean the top 100 where I put it all together? That's cool. I mean, that was just to give myself some time because I was ill that week, so I didn't want to make a big video. But yeah, it seems like people have really enjoyed it, and a lot of people said they just had it on in the background, which is cool. But I don't want to flood the channel with kind of lazy content like that. I want to keep making new stuff. But every now and then I'll throw one of those out there as well. People really enjoyed this one. The Push the System to Its Limits one. That's already got 31,000, which is really cool. Need a Resi 1 remake in 2, 3 and 4 style, definitely. It will happen at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, cool. Right, next question. Do you think retro game... Oh, we've been through that one. Okay, next one. If you could recommend any number of games or consoles that you think are underrated, what would they be? Games or consoles? That's a very big, very vague question. Consoles that are underrated. Consoles that are underrated. Let me know what chat thinks about that one as well. I'm doing a video soon on the Virtual Boy, but I know that people's opinion has kind of turned around on that system, which is quite interesting. And where is it? I'll show you something really cool that I got for the Virtual Boy. 1 second. So I met my friend Quang again the other week, and he gave me this, and this is actually 2 things in here. So let me turn off the website for a second. So let me get this out of the box to get rid of the glare on the screen, and I'll show you what's in here. Genesis? No way is the Genesis underrated. That's like some people's favourite consoles of all time. So there's this, which is actually a music album for the Virtual Boy, which is really cool, by Tronimal. And I actually have it on CD, so it's cool to be able to play it on the Virtual Boy as well. And that's just so cool that people have been making like custom Virtual Boy cartridges, and it looks really nice too. But the main thing I'm excited to check out is this. This is a Virtual Boy flash cart with an e-ink screen, so you can actually change that screen to like whatever game you've got on there before you put it in, which is so cool. And you just put a micro SD card on the top. I haven't checked it out just yet, but that is a video that I'll be doing very soon, so excited to check that out. So yeah, Virtual Boy, definitely one of my favourite underrated consoles. I've also kind of enjoyed checking out the 3DOs library, surprisingly. Like, I know people just flat out hate that console, but I think it's kind of interesting. And you can kind of see right in the corner there. Been slowly building up my 3DO collection to check out some games for that system as well. Thrasher1984, thank you for the happy anniversary. Glad to see you're in the chat. And thank you to everyone else who's popping up as well. I know I haven't been keeping up completely because I'm trying to get through these questions, and then we've got some questions that the chat wants answering as well. Let's have a look at this one. Question number 30. Is there any gaming lost media you'd like to be found? Oh yes, a lot. I've actually got a video planned about this. Let me see if I can bring up my notes, and I'll show you some of the Nintendo ones. Where would I find that? Oh wait, there's something else really cool as well. How am I going to do this? If I use the keyboard, it moves the question forward. So I'll show it on YouTube and then go into my YouTube history and find it that way, I think. Man, what's it called? It's on the PS2. You know what? I'll be able to find it through my own video because I've mentioned it in the past. It was a game for the PS2, and there's one really blurry tiny little trailer for it, but I would love to see what the full game was like. It was in my Umihara Kawase retrospective, wherever that is. I can't believe it was so long ago now. Time is going crazy. Oh yeah, let me get the screen back up. So it was... Here it is. It's called Densen for the PlayStation 2. And it looked so interesting. There we go. Let me turn this up a bit.
PS2 game is going to be called Densen,
Here it is.
which looked to be a 3D spiritual sequel to the original Umihara Kawase. Unfortunately though, it got cancelled, and all that exists of the game today is this short video that you're seeing right now. Although the game was cancelled, it does sound like it had quite an impact on game development at the time, and developers from games such as Katamari and even Eco, one of the best games on the PS2, all said that they were inspired by this tech demo. Now, after the PlayStation 1...
Whoa, look at my hair. Anyway, yeah, that game. Denka? I can't remember what it was called now. Densen. Yeah, that would have been so interesting. Like, I've got no idea what they were actually planning to do with that gameplay. It looks so weird, but yeah, really cool. And apparently it inspired a lot of developers as well. There was also a game for the GameCube called Cabbage. Yeah, or N64, I think, that was then moved over to the GameCube. And no one really knows what that was going to be like some sort of Animal Crossing game. So it'd be really cool if that was found one day. And stage debut as well on the GameCube. To see that actually playable would be really cool. And obviously Earthbound 3, Mother 3 on the 64 DD would be really cool. There's a whole bunch. I would love to make a full video about that in the future, like games that I would love to see that are lost at this point. There's so many. What editing software do I use? That is Final Cut Pro. Let's see if I've got any projects I can open up and show you what it's like. I did actually do an editing stream a few years back when I was doing my vlog for Insomnia, I think it was. But yeah, massive fan of Final Cut. I have tried using DaVinci recently as well, but I don't really get on well with the way the timeline works. But let me see if I've got a project that I can show you. I'm not sure if I do, actually. I think I've deleted them all. Well, I have the... no, it's not gonna show. I had the Resident Evil stamp rally thing, but all the files are missing. Anyway, Final Cut Pro is the software that I use, and I'm really happy with it. It works really well. Let's go to the next question, number 32. Are you interested in continuing your game development career in a limited capacity? Yeah, I mean, I kind of have. I'll show you itch.io. So, I want to say recently, but I'm still getting some new views, like 7 views today for Super Donuts. So, here's my itch.io page. So, any games that I do make, they'll be on here. There was this game that I made for a game jam last year for the 2024 GMTK game jam, and that was a fun little game where you basically just have to get to the top of this like construction site and then get to the next level. I finished off my game Super Donuts, which is a game that I worked on for a long time, and that is out now, free to play. So if you haven't played it before, definitely check it out. It was a lot of work in the background getting it into a playable state, and I'm really proud of how it ended up. There's still a few things I would have liked to do differently, but honestly, I never want to open Stencil ever again. I hate that program so much. But yeah, people liked it. There's a load of comments on there. And someone even said it was their favourite game of the year, and they did a Let's Play of it. So that was so cool. And there is one more, if we go back, called Loopy the Alchemist, which I actually made a few months ago. So this is one that I made for the 2025 GMTK game jam, and this is a little game where you fly around and basically circle the enemies Nights into Dreams style, and you collect cards and you take them back to a cauldron. So I had a lot of fun making that. So yeah, I'd still like to keep up game dev, even though it's not really a focus, because I end up stretching myself too thin and getting too obsessed over doing that and videos and then burn myself out, and I don't want to do that again. So yeah, every now and then there will be something new. Probably next year's 2026 GMTK game jam, I'll be back with a new game. And there was a few other things that I've worked on with friends over the years since I made that video as well. But yeah, I don't want to give up on it completely, because obviously that is what I wanted to do before YouTube. So yeah, it's still there in the background, ticking along in my brain, and I've got loads of ideas for games that I want to make too. In what ways can companies, Nintendo, Sega, etc., help with video game preservation? Not making emulators and ROMs illegal for games that can't be sold legitimately. I think that would be a good start. Like, let people actually experience the games, and then when a sequel does come out, you'll have more people to buy the new game. Making good collections like this Rocket Knight Adventures one is really good. Nintendo's pretty good with re-releasing things to keep them current, like we were saying earlier, how Mario Galaxy's been released. They do it with the Zelda games every now and then, although still there's no Twilight Princess or Wind Waker on the Switch, which is annoying. Nintendo's pretty good overall. They had their Virtual Console back in the Wii and Wii U days, and now they've got the Nintendo Online. Sega could do more, I guess. I mean, it'd be great if companies just kept everything playable. Yeah, not losing the source code would be a good one. Hence why we don't have Panzer Dragoon Saga, and I know that even Square Enix lost all the source code for the original Kingdom Hearts, and that's why the HD remake for the PS3 was basically made again from scratch, which is just insane. So yeah, look after their stuff better, make it playable on more consoles, and hopefully, and it seems like this is the case, I was going to say hopefully they can, console manufacturers can actually get the stores to carry on supporting the games over a longer period of time, and that does seem to be happening more recently. Like Switch 2 can play everything the original Switch can. PS5 can play everything PS4 can. Xbox Series can play everything the Xbox X can. I think it's getting better in that regard, honestly, as I think games are kind of standardizing across the board. There's less chance of things not being compatible, whereas in the past things changed quite drastically every generation. So that is good. And I want to praise Microsoft, actually. They actually do a really good job of keeping their older games playable. They had that whole thing where they were basically making as many original Xbox and 360 games playable on new consoles as well, which is great. So more stuff like that would be cool. More re-releases officially and keeping the shops alive longer would be great. And I think, honestly, releasing things for older consoles too. Like some... Let me show you an example. Where is it? Find this. Here we go. So things like this, which is a collector's edition of Mega Man The Wily Wars. This is a game that's really hard to buy normally, but Capcom actually allowed Retrobit to reprint it. So you basically got the original game, you got a bunch of really cool collectible stuff. Sorry, excuse me. I've been drinking some Monster to keep myself energized for this stream. But yeah, something like this, where you have a load of really cool collectibles, but they should also have an original version as well for people who just want to own the game. But yeah, great that people like Capcom are allowing people to do re-releases like that, and I think more game companies should allow companies that want to do this kind of thing the opportunity to re-release stuff. It's just, yeah, it's a win-win. They get money from it. The companies that are releasing these, they're usually smaller companies, and they get to stay in business and give people the games they want to play. So yeah, really cool. Right, next question is from Quang DX. Excited to see Quang here in the comments. What game could really do with a sequel? Maybe choose one from each platform. What games could do with a sequel? Obviously, I was going to say obviously Illusion of Time, but I actually think that's good as a standalone. Let me think. I'll have a look on Backloggery and we can pick some out and have a look through the different consoles too. Let's see, something on the Wii. I bet the Wii has a lot of one-off games that are really interesting. I would love to see a Battalion Wars 3. I love the Battalion Wars series. I'm thinking of what was it called? That like hack and slash action game that's kind of like Zelda that had a special edition. Oh, there it is. I would love to see a sequel to this game. This was an awesome game. Pandora's Tower. My box is a little bit battered, but yeah, that was a great game. Complete one-off game. Like, there's nothing else like it on the system. So I would love to see more kind of experimental releases like that, get modern updates. Cursed Mountain was really cool, but I don't think Nintendo would really do anything like that anymore. LEDs. Oh my god, a modern version of LEDs would be so much fun. A VR version of LEDs would be great as well. Like, being able to just fling things around and stuff. That game feels like it was made for VR.
You talking about Resident Evil 4?
I'm talking about LEDs on the Wii. I've got 2 drinks now.
I thought you were finishing it.
Oh no, I've been sipping it. That's fine.
It always looks like you're chugging.
Oh no. Does it? Does it look like I'm chugging? Oh, thank you, the Baggedy Roll, for the super chat, $9.99. Ace work, guilty treat for the wife and I every Friday. Love your earnest vibe, and you got me just appreciating older games again. Amazing, thank you so much. I want to find a way of getting your comment to show up. I'll add that to the file. We've actually got a bunch of questions still to go, so let me put that one first. Oh, that's a tough question too. This is my first time trying this add-on with OBS as well, so hopefully when I press reload, that should show 56, yes. It has reset back to the start though. Oh no! Does anyone remember what number we were on? Well, thank you so much for the super chat, and I'm really glad you enjoy the vibe of the videos. I try and make them approachable, but still, like, deep and interesting at the same time. I think we were around here somewhere, weren't we? Yeah, Krang DX. What sequels would you like to see from each platform? So yeah, there's a bunch on the way that I would like to see sequels for. I would love to see a new Klonoa game as well. They released the Klonoa collection, which was really cool. So yeah, I would love to see a new game in the Klonoa series, although I don't know whether they're really capable of it, judging by the state of the collection. What else? Let's have a look on a different system as well. Let's try the DS. Wii and DS had so many really unique games. Aliens Infestation, that was really good. I know there's already hundreds of sequels, but I would love to see a new 2D Castlevania game, like a proper Metroidvania style Castlevania with the map and the whole mission structure of these three. Absolutely love the DS ones, and nothing since has even come close in my opinion. So yeah, a new 2D Castlevania, please, Konami. I know you're back to making games now. You have more than just Metal Gear. Golden Sun, I already mentioned that. Kuruin Donuts, why not? Because that's the game that inspired me to make my donut game. Let's see what else we've got here. What game conversion was done badly on a platform and would benefit from having a new version done? Game conversion. Oh man, I can't think of an answer to that one off the top of my head. There must be some really poor remakes. I'm drawing a blank there. I mean, most modern remakes of games kind of mess things up. Like, there's a lot of modern games where the lighting's all broken. So yeah, probably... Oh, I know. The original Xenoblade came out on the Switch, and sometimes the resolution, for example, was even worse than the original, which was kind of weird. Like, I would love to see a Switch 2 version of that. Alan Wake remake, yeah, that felt so janky as well. There was, I don't know what it is, but there's something about companies that just can't do modern remakes or remasters of older games without completely screwing them up somehow. Which is, yeah, kind of why I'm a bit worried about any older games getting newer versions, because I know, oh my god, I know the answer to this one, and it's awful. The Panzer Dragoon remake and the Panzer Dragoon 2 one looks so much worse. They really didn't learn their lesson from the first one. Let me get this up and I'll show you. So Panzer Dragoon 2, the original, is honestly one of my favourite games. But they've... let's see if this one will take me there. Oh god, have a look at this. Gameplay for Panzer Dragoon Zwei. Oh, it just looks so bad. Look at that. It just looks so cheap. Like, yeah, sure, work in progress, but I don't think they understand what made the original so good to begin with. Like, that's just awful, awful. I don't know whether I'm being maybe a bit too harsh, but yeah, really not impressed. I like that, the first result there, saying it's really looking that bad. Let's have a look at this. Remake hands-on at TGS this year.
Before the festivities for the largest game show in Japan even kicked off, Forever Entertainment let fans know that one of the classics that they're working on is indeed alive and well. Panzer Dragoon 2 Remake was playable at Tokyo Game Show 2020.
That was the original. Here's some gameplay.
Settings were set to classic versus modern. I think it just felt a little bit better for me. The main difference here is in that
I really don't like it.
You use left to control the creature.
I really don't like it at all.
Right
That's horrible.
to actually control it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. There's no artistic vision there at all. So yeah, Panzer Dragoon needs a proper remake. And Saga does too. Alright, another one from Quang. Which home console do you wish had a portable handheld version that played the same games? Which home console? Oh my god, what? Well, I guess technically these days you can get really powerful emulation handhelds that can do that. Like on my 3DS hacked 3DS video, a lot of people were recommending the Aeon Thor, which is basically like a 3DS design that can play everything up to Wii U even, and even some PS3 games, which is insane. So I don't really think there are many consoles out there that can still need a handheld version. Obviously I love things like the Dreamcast or like the Nomad, or you know, even the Nintendo kind of have unofficial versions where you can play the consoles. I don't know whether it's really fun to have the console cartridges in the handheld. It makes it kind of awkward to play. I have the one for the SNES, can't remember what that was called, by Hyperkin, and it's a cool concept, but it's really difficult. Red Cow Arcade shouted you out. Did you see it? No, I didn't see. Where was that? That's really nice of him. Yay, and thank you OSW for the happy 18th. There's so much going on. I'm so excited. But yeah, which console would I like to be able to play handheld that I can't play? I feel like I can. I mean, hold on, let me show you something. It's a bit dusty. I haven't used it in a while. Let me dust that off. So this, for example, this can play everything up to and including Nintendo Switch. Like, it can play every console. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with the state of handhelds these days. I don't really feel like there's anything that I need. Yeah, Conker Pocket Fit looks really cool. I love Retro Games Corp's videos, by the way. I watch them all the time. Even though I've basically got this that can already play everything, I still love checking out all the new stuff that's coming. What's something from your gaming childhood you wish you still had but no longer do? Oh man, so for the longest time I had a really great answer to this, but since that time I've actually been back and bought everything that I had as a kid that I lost. So I really regretted early on selling some of my game collection. Let me just get rid of that for a sec. So I sold all of my game collection basically to buy the GameCube when it released, but since then I basically bought everything back for way more than it cost originally, and since that point on I've basically made it a rule to myself that I won't sell anything because I know I'll regret it in the future. So the stuff that's not here is either in the loft or in the garage in boxes. So I don't really have an answer to that anymore, although it would have been some of the rarer N64 games like Banjo-Tooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Smash Brothers, things like that. But I've got them all at this point, so I'm happy. All right, next question. We need to make the font a little bit smaller on this one. Let's see. And I can see some more questions coming through in the chat. I will add them into the file at the end of this once we've got through these, but these are the ones that were sent over in advance. So Starlack would like to get the Game & Watch Super Mario. Oh, I did have a Game & Watch actually. I had the Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch, the flip screen one, but one of my sister's friends actually stood on it while it was open and broke the screen in half, so I had to get rid of it, which I was very, very annoyed about, as you can imagine. So I would love to get a proper working version of that again at some point. That's definitely my answer to that one then. Okay, number 38. Again from Verdant Sea, they came back for more. Is there a video that you want to make or wish you could make but requires resources or access you currently don't have, and what would that be? Oh my god! Is there a video I want to make that I don't have the resources for? Oh my god, I've just opened up my notes to see how many videos I've got planned that still have things that I need to buy in order to complete them. Are you ready for this? There are 587 videos that I've got lined up with, there's like tables inside of them with things that I want to get, or, you know, just time or money or places that I want to go. There's so much. There's so much. Let me show you some of the more interesting. Let me show you the quintet one. I know everyone keeps asking about the quintet video. Let's get a new capture source and let's change that to application capture, change that to notes. How can I do that? Let's put that under there. Actually, if I pop that out, will that kind of works. I'll move that out of the way, and you can see this. Can you see that? Kind of. Let's zoom in a little bit. There you go. So here's one example, and there's literally hundreds of lists like this of things that I want to get for various videos. So this is the big video that I've been working on for years and years and years, and here's all their games, and I've ticked off all the ones that I've got, and some of these are several £100, like these ones. They're several hundred at this point, which is insane, but I've got most of the expensive ones now. But yeah, by the time this video's finished, this would have probably cost me several £1,000 in equipment and consoles and games. There's still a lot more, like all of these GBA ones. I'm going to try and get them all as a set. That will tick off quite a lot. Dream interviews. I feel like I might have a chance for this, but I was thinking of trying to get Yuzo Koshiro on for the Quintet video, because obviously he was someone who was there right at the start, and he worked on ActRaiser and ActRaiser 2, and he follows me online as well, so that might actually be possible. So we'll see. I was also thinking maybe I'd like to do an interview with some people from Rare, but again, they know me, they follow me, so maybe that is a possibility in the future as well, which is just so cool. I never thought that anyone would know me from like some of my favorite things, which is just one of the perks of doing videos for so long, I guess, which is amazing. So yeah, I won't shall I show you some other ones as well? Let's see. So how can I do that? I'll put it there. So if you have a look on the side here, these are all the video ideas that I've got. So that number, that 587, that was just for actual videos. That wasn't for these sort of cut down ones. So for all of these, I've got tables upon tables of all the games that I want to get for the various different videos, and I'm ticking off when I've bought them and when I've recorded them. So this is for part 2 of my Game Boy Maxed Out video, which a lot of people enjoyed recently. So I've been trying to come up with a list of games for that. And again, you can see that some of these are barely started, but some of them I've got more stuff for than others. Hidden gems, again, I've been making lists here and saying how much they are. Some of these are going to be fairly pricey, like if I want to get Dokapon Monster Hunter, that's 200. Riviera. I saw Riviera at the Game & Market and I was tempted to get that. But yeah, there's loads and loads and loads, so I'm not going anywhere on YouTube. Like, look at all these. Master System Top Games, I'm working on that one. Backlog bucket list as well. So there's a lot I want to try and go through. Import games as well. Like there's probably enough for like 3 videos there for the Game Boy. Yeah, I don't want to spoil everything. That's all I'm going to show you for now. But yeah, there's a lot coming. Be looking forward to more. And yeah, I'm definitely around for the long haul. So that was the answer to that long-winded question. Next up from the fabulous Hudson Hornet again, is there one game that you would consider to be perfect? Yes, play it, everyone. Again, it's not really perfect. There are some things that I would like to improve about it, but in my mind it is as close to perfect as can be. In fact, there is one perfect game. Let me just get rid of that because you can see the Apple logo in the top. There we go. There is one perfect game, and I actually genuinely do think it's perfect, and that's Tetris Effect. So there's my answer to that. Tetris Effect. My lists look organised. It's just Apple Notes. I'm not really using anything fancy. Although, I kind of am using something fancy as well. Do you want to see this as well? I feel like I'm... Well, I say it's fancy. It's just numbers, but... Yes, Perfect Dark, of course. Let me boot this up, and this will also give you an idea of the scale of what I'm trying to achieve with my channel as well. So again, if we go on screen capture and change that to application and put that on numbers, this will be interesting to some of you as well. Let me try and resize that so I'm not being cut off. There we go. So this is my like ultimate checklist for all of the bigger videos that I want to do. So for every single console, at least the ones that I own currently, I'm planning to eventually do a history video. So that'll be like a deep dive into the history of the console, who made it, what the climate was at the time, like socially and stuff, and the technology behind it, and everything to do with the history of the console, like I did with my Nintendo ones earlier in the year before the Switch 2 came out. I would love to do deep dives into all of these. And then top games videos. Obviously, I've already done pretty much all of the Nintendo ones at this point, and I probably will update them at some point in the future. I'm starting on the Sega ones as well. I've picked up some more Master System games the other day for that. Hidden Gems, of course. Maxed Out, which I just started for the Game Boy. Imports, which I haven't really done for anything yet, apart from the Wonder Swan. And I might do 2 different import ones, like ones that you can play without a language barrier, and then ones that you can play with translation patches. So I kind of split that into 2. Beta games, which also includes prototypes as well. So that's like stuff that never officially got released, or very different early versions of games as well. And I'm really excited to do them. I've done one for the GBA. I've got some planned for the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. Legacy is an interesting one. So that'll be like aftermarket consoles that came out after the console was like off the market, or it was like no longer officially supported, but fans have come along and given it a second lease of life, like all of the homebrew stuff for the Game Boy, like things like this, like the Analog Pocket. So yeah, kind of like how the consoles are being played today, and then the best ways to play today, like if you want to mod the systems, or is it better to play one of these new consoles or the originals. And then the plan is, once I've done that, I want to make one big video called Everything You Need to Know About That Console, and also turn them into books as well. So yeah, that's 26 different consoles, and I have no idea how many videos. 26 times 10, so 260 videos minimum expect from me over the next, I don't know, 18 years. Yeah, and then I've basically got this to keep track of where I am every month with making the videos as well. So, and that's just one of the things I want to do. I've got so many ideas, but it takes a long time to actually get all the stuff for some of these, and that may be... Oh, I changed the camera. Here you go, a nice fancy camera. I actually didn't mean to do that. Let me change that back to the webcam, where the quality is so much better on that, but I didn't have a way of putting it on the top, unfortunately, so let me change that back. Where is it? Video capture device. No, I'm too big. What have I done? Fit to screen, and then bring that back under there. There we go. We're back. You got a glimpse into my A7S3 for a second. I don't know why. Like, it looks so much better, but I didn't like the angle. Like, it just doesn't work. So yeah, for now we're on this camera. It works. I was actually trying to get rid of that, which is this screen capture. Riz cam. I don't want to riz this stream up too much. You're all being too nice as it is anyway. Next question anyway. Were we on that one? Yeah. Okay, question 40. I've got really sidetracked then. I apologise. And I know there's a bunch of questions in the chat as well, which I'll add into the file in a bit. The fabulous Hudson Hornet again. Is there a franchise that always has you longing for more as soon as you finish the latest game? No, because I'm always basically flitting between 10 different games at once. I honestly feel glad to have a break sometimes between releases, and I even feel like things like Xenoblade are coming out too fast and I can't keep up. So no. No was the answer to that. Let's move on. Viridian Waves, love the stream, missed the first part. Hopefully the full thing will be on the channel. Yes, don't worry, I'll be keeping it on the channel, and all of you can watch this back after the fact. And I might do some like editing to this and release it as a video as well. I haven't quite decided what I want to do yet, but thanks for joining anyway. And yeah, don't worry, everyone can watch it back after. It's a bit of a mess. I've kind of been rambling all over the place, but we're getting through it. Let's check out this, number 41 from Humble Mud Games. They're really nice, by the way. Give their channel a follow. I really love them. They're great Great guy, love his videos, and he also follows me on Blue Sky as well, and I always enjoy talking to him over there. Anyway, they ask, what do you think is your favourite thing about video games, as in, how have they impacted you as a person? That's an interesting and deep question, and I don't really know if they have. I feel like making videos has impacted me more than playing games. I feel like videos have really, like, just talking to the camera has really helped me improve my confidence, charisma on and off camera. I really think it has been very beneficial making videos. Playing games, I don't really know whether that's actually helped me out much at all, other than giving me something to talk about endlessly on YouTube. So I have games to thank for that. I mean, also, I have games to thank, I think, for my love of creating in general. I love the creativity behind the games. Not so much the games themselves, but more like the people that made them. I think that's what I really care about. Obviously, some games do really leave a lasting impression on me, and that's really fun. But I really do think it's like the games, the creators behind the games, the technology, everything like that is kind of what's impacted me more. Hey, Tech Thompson's here as well. Before we move on, Tech Thompson, now you're in the chat. We need to go back to some of my earlier videos again. I was showing this off in the stream earlier. Do you remember the Angry Schmergel Nerd? Ladies and gentlemen, the co-host of the Angry Schmergel Nerd is here in the stream. You can hear him. Oh, he can't hear us because we didn't know what we were doing. There he is! There he is! Tech Thompson! What's he doing? Why is he all blue and wavy? What's going on?
There you go.
Incredible.
We hate
That's
to do
it.
this.
God, we
It's
hated
as
that
it
game
is
so much.
A fantastic machine. Games like Zelda, No Heroes,
That was so
they
funny.
are games that are just terrible.
So yeah, Tech Thompson was a big part of the channel back in the day. Oh my god, we did so much random stuff together. There's another Angry Schmergel Nerd episode. Oh my god, here's something else really stupid. Do you remember this one? Oh my god, like there's nothing around at DS, you can trust us. Or DS. Plain old dust cover. And basically this was just us using a cheat cartridge and tricking people into thinking that we'd like hacked the game or something to get unlimited bullet bills. Oh yeah, if you want to see a more modern game, a modern video with Tech Thompson in. Oh my god, that I can't type anything because it moves the Q&A over, but oh, there you are as well, playing 1-2 Switch on launch day. But yeah, we sat down at one point and spoke about the 1 year anniversary of the Switch. Here it is.
This is what they
Much
thought
better
the
quality than those
Switch
earlier ones.
was going to be.
Oh yeah, that was
I wasn't
the
really sure, 'cause
prototype.
There was some rumours floating around that it might be a new handheld.
Wow, my hair's really
Some
long there
rumours
as
that it
well.
might be a
It's
new
crazy.
console.
There was plenty of speculation what it could have been.
There was a lot of speculation.
There was, yes.
So that was just a bit about the rumours.
I really enjoyed making this video. We should do a new
Which is
one.
in a different video that you can find.
Maybe for the Switch 2's 1 year
You've been
anniversary.
learning a bit of Japanese. To try
Are
and
you in
play
the,
it.
yes, I have. Yes, I have.
So that's cool.
I wouldn't
we've got all the
recommend
Switch
it for
Player
anyone.
magazines as well.
I wouldn't
Paul
unfor-
Murphy's really cool, by the way, the guy who made those Switch Player magazines. He's still going. There's actually a NES book Kickstarter that's out right now, and I got to meet him in person again recently, and he's always so great to talk to. Hugo Martinez with a super chat. Thank you so much for that. I will add your question to the top of the list, and when we've got through these, I'm going to start off with the people that have donated the super chats, and then we can go into everyone else's questions on the stream as well. So thank you for that. I'll just put that in there now. Yeah, we can do a follow-up to that one. That was fun. So yeah, thank you for the super chat, and I will tackle a question soon because we're nearly through all these. Right, that was that question there from Humble Mud, so let's hide YouTube again for a second. Number 42 from Johnny SoCal. Oh, it updated automatically as well. Fantastic, we won't lose our place. So there's now 47 questions, and I've got some more. 57, sorry. And I've got some more to add as well. What is the most valuable game in your collection? Maybe I'll try and find it. I don't know how much Panzer Dragoon Saga's going for these days, but that's kind of a valuable one. Oh, there is another one up there which I can go and get. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, these two. Oh, actually. There's a few. There's a few more which I'll maybe try and find in a minute, but these two are fairly valuable. I mean, the price stickers are still on them. I got these two for £350 each. So yeah, that is difficult. And I know Tech Thompson's got one of them cart only, and I still haven't played them yet either. I'm planning to do a video on them at some point. But yeah, really happy to own both of these. They were something that I wanted to get for a long time. Let me know if anyone in the chat has played either of these games. And I was a bit insane to spend that much. As well, I think my Chrono Trigger might be worth quite a lot just because it's been signed by the designer. So that's really cool. There is something else I want to show you, and there's only like, I don't know, 20 of these in existence. I'm not sure where it is though. No, I don't know where it is. Maybe I can find it later and we can come back to it. But I'd probably say the Summon Night games at the moment, and maybe Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is like down there somewhere, but I don't think I spent... Oh, maybe I did actually. Yeah, probably that or Panzer Dragoon Saga. Right, question number 43 by Chris Zach 3970. Do you feel that the quality of video games in general have gotten better or worse since you started the channel? Also, what are your favourite PAL exclusive games? On the whole, I think games have gotten better for the most part. I will say that some companies have maybe got a little bit lazy in terms of optimizing games, so they don't run as well as they should do, considering the systems that they're on. Like, a lot of games just use out-of-the-box Unreal Engine 5, and you can really tell that the engine is struggling when it really shouldn't, but it's just because the developers are kind of rushing them, I think, a little bit. Favourite PAL exclusive games? Oh, maybe coming back to this, I think this is, well, outside of Japan at least, that's an exclusive. Oh, have I got a green screen filter on? I think I do. Let me hold up something green. Yeah, I do. Oh, wow, that is weird. It's bringing the camera from the other angle. What the hell? Look at that. Whoa, retroception. That's crazy. And that camera's actually a lot better quality too. I had no idea I still had the green screen turned on. That's hilarious. I forgot what the question was now. That's funny. I should probably turn that off. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can't believe that was still on. PAL exclusive games. PAL exclusives. I can't think what is just for PAL that never came out in Japan. Not sure. Let's move on to the next one. NCS07 says, do you watch or like Family Guy, and your thoughts on Toho 6 and 7? They are two extremely different questions. Do I watch Family Guy? Occasionally. I seem to watch it in hotels more than anything, just because it's always on ITV whenever we turn the TV on in hotels. And thoughts on Toho 6 and 7, they are embodiment of Scarlet Devil and Perfect Cherry Blossom. Incredible games. Absolutely love both of them. Cherry Blossom's better. I feel like Scarlet Devil's a little bit basic. They didn't have some of the things that I find make the modern Toho games a little bit better. And I do want to do a Toho retrospective at some point as well. So look forward to that in the future. Charlie Griffiths 4901. I don't know why everyone has so many numbers. I guess that's a YouTube thing. Yes, I am Bruce Wayne. For those of you watching the VOD, that won't make any sense, but yes, I am Bruce Wayne. My secret's out. Anyway, if you aren't YouTubing and playing games, what do you like to do in your downtime? Watch anime and read manga, I guess, and also go to a lot of conventions, mostly thanks to Risu Chu. We're at a convention pretty much multiple times a month at this point, constantly travelling up and down from London, going to the NEC in Birmingham and stuff like that, which is always really fun. Love hanging out with friends there and meeting a lot of people who watch the channel as well, and that's great. But yeah, outside of playing games, I read a lot of manga. In fact, I probably read so much manga I could start a manga channel as well. Love manga. I've been loving getting into some of the deeper stories as well recently. So yeah, that's probably my answer to that. And reading books in general. I think if I wasn't playing games, I would just read a lot instead. And maybe if I was born like 50 years earlier, I would just read and read and read and never stop reading. So that's my answer to that one. Number 46. There's no username for this one. Oh, if it doesn't or hasn't been mentioned. Favourite console. It has been mentioned already. That is a Super Nintendo. And looks like this is a big one. So let me just make the font a little bit smaller again to make it fit. Why is there no... let's put it somewhere in between. Let's try 30. Perfect. There we go. So this one is from Bart V5059. Almost every game released in Europe before the Dreamcast started offering 60Hz as an option was a slow, unoptimized 50Hz mess. Well, that's not entirely true, and I do want to do a video about the ins and outs of 50Hz gaming because it is a big deal in the UK, even though I don't think a lot of people really care that much or even know what it means. But yeah, there were a lot more optimized games than people think there was. And as a kid, I knew no different anyway. Anyway, how does this fact affect your collecting habits? I have a hard time going back to those slow games with giant black bars on my original PAL hardware, so I mostly stick to NTSC versions on my Mr. FPGA these days. Honestly, it doesn't really affect my collecting habits at all, although I do get annoyed if I know that there's a better version out there, and in that case I will use the Mr. to play the 60Hz versions. But the good thing is, they're just out of shot down there, but I've actually been modding every single one of my consoles so that I can play them at full speed, so it won't really be a problem at all anymore. So yeah, it bothers me, but not a massive amount, and I played all the way through Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1 recently, and that was a 50Hz version of the game, and it really didn't bother me. It bothered some people who watched the video and said, "Oh my god, I can't believe you were playing the PAL version, are you insane?" And I just didn't care. I still enjoyed it as a fun game. You know, most games I grew up with were a bit slower than they were meant to be, but it never really bothered me until I discovered that they were meant to be faster. So I guess the answer to that is play them before you know any better, and then you'll have a good time. Let's try question number 48 from Chris Kryaku. I don't know how I pronounce that one. 862. Hey mate, much love from Australia. What convinced you to switch up the channel from Nintendo Wii to Retro Break? And what was the tipping point? Thank you. Alright, that's an interesting one. Let's go back to the channel for a second. And maybe I can make the font a little bit bigger. Let's try that. Will it fit? Yep, okay. So, when did I change the channel from Nintendo Wii to Retro Break? It's actually had a few different rebrands over the years. So it started out as just Nintendo for the first few, like you saw in the Mario Galaxy one. It was just called Nintendo. Switch 2 on the GameCube was good. Yeah, for the most part. I'm happy with it. When did I change? So at some point early on, I changed to being Nintendo Wii. And before that as well, if you want some more Retro Break lore, I was originally called Extreme Game Stars with an X, and I used to write for a website called Nintendo Weekly, as in WII, Weekly. So yeah, that was fun back in the day. One of my Wii videos actually still says Nintendo Weekly at the start as well, which was kind of one of my ideas a long time ago. What was that video? It was like, I think it was this one, Top 10 Wii Games. At the start, yeah, look, Nintendo Weekly, you got to see that for a second. So that was an early one. And looking back on some of these earlier videos, it does actually seem like I put a lot of effort into the editing of them, even though it looks awful, obviously. And there you go, Nintendo Wii Presents. Look at this intro, I really didn't need to do this. I put so much effort into it. On my Nintendo P. For the first time on Nintendo Weekly. The ideas I had for this, like doing collabs with websites, never really amounted to anything, but it was like things like game trailers and Screw Attack and Normal Boots and things like that was kind of what I was going for. So Nintendo Wii stuck for a while. All of these were Nintendo Wii videos. And then there was one video that really took off. It was my Let's Play of Super Mario 1. This one, like compared to these videos, like if you have a look at the amount of views, I need to zoom in slightly. The amount of views on these videos before, and at this point I was already doing weekly videos, by the way, like Retro Gamer Week, episode 26. All of these were only getting like 100, 200 views or something. Occasionally something would pop off a little bit, like that F-Zero retrospective that just got over 1,000. Yeah, they were doing okay. Actually, we can have a look at this. Channel introduction. So this is the introduction to my channel 10 years ago. Let's have a quick look.
Nintendo Wii here. Thanks for visiting my channel. My channel's dedicated to showing the best games from retro to modern and everything in between. As well as games, I also show up some really cool collectible items. The goal of this channel is to introduce people to games and consoles they may never have heard of before, or never have had the chance to play. So hopefully from these videos, especially the Retro Gamer Week video, I'll be able to give some recommendations for new games for people to try out. There's also top 10s, let's plays, reviews, collection videos, unboxings, anything else I feel like I want to put up here basically. So thanks for watching, hope you stick around.
Alright, bored of that now, but yeah, that's a look at how my channel was 10 years ago, which is interesting to see. And yeah, I've been doing weekly videos for like over 10 years now, that's insane. Like, obviously I've improved a lot, but back then I thought this was like the best I could do.
Let me know what you think. If you think there's any improvements I need to make to the channel, if you've got any feedback, any tips.
And I was doing all of this and barely anyone was watching when you look back on it. 75 views for that one. But anyway, what I was getting to is this Let's Play for Super Mario 1 on the NES got 45,000 views, which was like the first time that anything I actually cared about actually took off. So I actually rebranded at some point after that, and then I did my Mario 3 Let's Play as well. At some point around here, I don't know if it was this one. Actually, let me just close all the other tabs because that's getting a bit busy. Was it this one?
About his grand.
Oh, look at this cool intro I did for Retro Game Week as well. I was really proud of that. And they're all from different games too.
Hello Nintendo Wii here, welcome to episode 28 of Retro Gamer Week.
No, I was still just Nintendo Wii there, but at some point soon after that. Oh yeah, the eShop video did really well too back then. So there was a few, and the Retron 5 one, I put so much effort into this Retron 5 one. Yeah, that was like the biggest video that I'd done up until that point, and I was really glad that that one did quite well. eShop Hidden Gems did well. It's crazy looking back on some of these. Some of them, it's so weird. Like today, I can pretty much, I've got like a baseline of a few thousand that can be guaranteed, but some of these, like, it fluctuated so wildly back then. Like, I think it was all just, like, some of these have got like 36 views, 41. Like, you can tell I still didn't know what I was doing. The thumbnails are just random stills. I was recording them off the TV. And then, yeah, when I did put effort in, like F-Zero retrospective, eShop Hidden Gems, they did okay, but then it just fell back to being nothing again. And it took me, apart from that one, this one's, yeah, I think a lot of people were just, well, the eShop was still alive and well back then. That was 10 years ago. This one took off for a weird reason, and I don't think I got any subscribers from it, but yeah, this was just one random Retro Gamer Week video I did. But let's look at this intro. I still love this intro. I love that Dreamcast sound too. Yeah, I went a bit insane on the eShop before it closed down.
Hello Nintendo, Wii here. Welcome to episode 27 of Retro
Look, I didn't
Game
know to do the shutter speed for the
this week,
CRT.
I'll be taking a look at a game for a new system that I got the other day, and a system that.
Anyway, the reason this video took off, you can, oh my god, you can see the bit that everyone was interested in. So here, just after the game over screen, you get this kind of risky picture of these girls here with a magician.
Oh.
And then you get this scene as well. So let's just say there was a lot of people that were hoping to see something more than that, because there's actually a cheat in that game, The Apprentice, for the CDI, where you can actually make the girls completely naked. And that's the only reason that this video did well compared to all the other ones. And I didn't even understand at the time why that video was taken off. So that's just kind of funny. in a way, like compared to some that I actually put a lot of effort into, like this Mega Man 2 one. I put a lot of effort into this one. And you can see the whole time I was really improving my
Hello
production
Nintendo, we
values
here.
too.
Welcome to episode 23 of Retro Gamer Week. This week we're going to be taking a
I don't know
look
why I was
at
thinking
the
with that
original
camera
Game Boy
angle.
version of one of the best Mega Man games.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed doing this, and I also kind of made it into like a bit of a music video style thing as well.
Episode 24.
Yeah, the editing was all over the place. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was enjoying the process, and I was learning, you know. But yeah, that really threw me for a loop. I didn't expect that one to take off, and then this one took off. Actually, that's got more views than that. I should have renamed myself to The Apprentice. That would have made more sense. So, yeah, at some point after this, let me try and get back on topic. I rebranded to Let's Play Retro Games. I don't know when that was. Let's see what the intro to this was. Yeah, this is one. So this was my intro for a while. Have a look here how it says, welcome to Let's Play Retro
Hello
Games.
Nintendo, we here. I've just got back from Japan.
Well, I
I've
still
got
call
so
myself
many amazing
Nintendo
games
Wii.
to show you. I can't wait to get into this
Let's
video.
turn that down a bit. Sorry,
You
that
might
was a
have
bit loud.
noticed that I've changed my channel. It's no longer called Nintendo
Oh, there you go.
Wii. I'm renaming it to Let's Play Retro Games, which I think makes a lot more sense. It's exactly what I do on this channel, so I hope you like the new name, and there's loads of cool videos coming this way. But anyway, let's get started by taking...
It was not what I did on this channel. So for the longest time, I thought from this point on, I'm going to do nothing but make Let's Plays because that's what people want from me. And then I changed the name, and then I barely did any Let's Plays still. Like, all of these are just random pickups videos, some stuff from Japan's NES Mini Pokemon launch event. Like, nothing Let's Play related whatsoever. Let's see, when was the first actual Let's Play? Yoshi's Island Let's Play. So, what, a year? This is really awful, looking back on this. What was I thinking? So, I rebranded here to call my channel Let's Play Retro Games, and then for a year after I renamed the channel, I didn't do any Let's Plays. That's so funny. Oh yeah, I'll get to that one, Jack. That was when I announced Retro Break. So for a year after I rebranded to Let's Play Retro Games, I didn't do any Let's Plays at all. The first one I did was this one, Yoshi's Island. And I remember being so upset because I thought, the channel's not doing great. I know what will pick it back up again. I'm going to do a Let's Play. It's going to get me like multiple thousand views, just like the Mario one did. And then I uploaded that and it died at like 100 views, and now it's still on like 200. And you can tell I got so upset. I didn't even finish the game. I did 4 parts and they got progressively worse and worse each time. And then I gave up on Let's Plays a bit. There's another look back on the channel, like 10 years of YouTube, 8 years ago. So crazy I've been doing it this long. So yeah, I did a little bit more Let's Plays. But at the same time, I didn't really put the time in to do them properly. Like I did these, which were just like, let's play a little bit of a game and call it a Let's Play. But it's not really a Let's Play at all. So Let's Play Retro Games stuck around for a while. All of this was under... Well, let's open one of these. Let's see how I introduce myself. Still got the Let's Play Retro Games intro, so that stuck around for a few years.
Nintendo, we here. Welcome back to Let's Play Retro Games. I just wanted to share some of my...
I do not remember
SNES Mini.
having a
And
Tiny
I want
Rick
people-
t-shirt. Where did I get that from? That's funny. At least you didn't make a video called I'm back and then disappear for 4 years. Not yet anyway. So yeah, I rebranded to Let's Play Retro Games. I didn't do any Let's Plays, and I still called myself Nintendo Wii, so everything was a bit of a mess for a while. I did a Let's Play with Ritu. We played through Mischief Makers, which is a really fun game for the N64.
Go out and scout around and get more familiar with
And
it.
using the green screen
Meanwhile, the
effect
professor
as well.
gets kidnapped by the locals.
For some reason.
Well, why not?
We had fun playing through this.
If I do finish the file with all gold,
Yeah.
and it opens up all
I
the ending
didn't mean to go full screen.
story, you can probably add it to the...
That was a fun time making these videos in the flat. So another thing around this time, like 2017, 2018, I actually moved out into a house on our own, just us two, so I could spend a lot more time making videos. And that really helped me get better at it as well. Like all of these were made in the flat, and that's when I had more time to work on stuff a bit better. But anyway, let's... Oh, it just went back a bit. When did I rebrand? Here it is, introducing Retro Break. I think this is the one that Tech Thompson's in.
Hello,
Yeah, here we go.
Nintendo Wii here. Welcome back to Let's Play Retro Games.
Let's play games. I love
There
let's
he
play
is.
games.
Not Let's Plays, we're doing pickups.
No, no, let's play.
Look at all these amazing DS games I got recently.
They ask you how you are.
I still think this is really good.
Fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Oh, this can't keep happening. I've got to fix this.
Whoa, new intro, Retro Break. Coming 2019. So it's officially been Retro Break for 6 years then. Nearly 7. That's crazy, it's been nearly 7 years of Retro Break. Wow. But yeah, that's the introduction video, December 2018. Introducing the new name for my retro gaming channel, Retro Break. I have so many exciting ideas for the channel next year, and I'll make a video next week telling you more. Yeah, that was Jack. So that's Tech Thompson. He's been in the chat for a bit.
I love let's play games.
He was in the original videos, and then he.
Recently.
They were all empty boxes, by the way, so don't worry. And then he walked off, and then on this bit, he's holding the camera
This can't keep happening.
and throwing them at me as I'm trying to pick them up. I don't know what we were thinking. Like, it still doesn't really make much sense. I was basically trying to say it doesn't make sense why I'm called Let's Play Games, because I don't do Let's Plays. Let's change it to something that people will understand a bit better. So yeah, that's how Retro Break came to be. And I was expecting originally, my original plan was for Retro Break to be more of these documentary style videos like this one. And I put a lot of work into this one. This is my Tetsuya Mizuguchi documentary.
Hello, Nintendo
Documentary.
Wii
Oh, the sound's gone again. Let me just fix that.
here. Mizuguchi is one of the most
OBS.
interesting and influential game developers, and one that I especially admire for his dedication to one thing in particular, that is synesthesia.
So I loved doing this video, so I did a lot of research. I don't know if that's a bit loud.
Just turned up at reception
Like,
and asked
this
for a
was
job.
one of my favourite
Of
things
course,
to
he
do, but it took
eventually had to go
ages,
through a
and
formal interview
you can
process.
probably hear I wasn't really
Listen
that
to this
confident
extract from the
doing
podcast.
the voiceover either.
I basically went from
Like,
Sega at the time were also looking into several other VR ideas.
But check out this little demonstration.
like, it was really cool. That was the direction that I wanted the channel to go, but I just don't think I was there yet to really do that style of video properly. But, you know, eventually I did do some more of them, so these are the more recent ones, but it was more of the same, more or less, for quite a while. There was a new trailer I did 6 years ago. Yeah, but it's crazy. Over the past decade now, for 10 years, I've only missed maybe 3 or 4 uploads a week in that entire time. And I do feel like that might be holding me back a little bit, because I do want to do more bigger videos. But, you know, I try and always have something out every week, and maybe the quality isn't quite there. Like this Trackmania one, I loved making that video, but it took so long because I had to keep stopping to make these kind of filler videos in between, and I wonder whether it would be a better use of my time to just work on bigger things. You can see I was experimenting with thumbnails a bit as well, like trying out different fonts, making it look a bit more professional each time as well. I still think that one looks pretty good, and that one did really well views wise too, but it's not about the views. I think it's about learning and improving and seeing what I enjoy making. There's another look back look. And it was only 4 years ago that I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm nearly on 60,000 now. So it's crazy the amount of progress that I've made since I rebranded to Retro Break. Basically everything before then just feels like just throwing stuff at the wall, figuring out little bits and pieces as I'm going along, but not really knowing what I'm doing at all, to be honest. And then from here on, this is when I moved into the new house, and I'm in the room that I'm in now, and I think things improved a lot there as well. Like, you can see my average views went from a few hundred to a few thousand, like, during that time, which definitely helped a lot. Like that one's insane. Nearly 500,000 views. I still don't fully understand why these do so well compared to everyone else's. I think it's because I've got them physically and I have actual memories of the games rather than just reading lists off the internet. People seem to like that, and I'm happy to do it, but I do want to do interesting things as well. But yeah, anyway, that's long story long. That's the answer to that question. Let's move on to the next one from Jarrett Outdoors 3710. What YouTube channels do you watch in your free time? Is it mostly gaming related stuff, or do you have other interests that you watch? Let's have a look at my subscriptions list, shall we? Oh, Cinemassacre. I haven't watched Cinemassacre for a long time. Oh my god, there's going to be hundreds. Try most relevant. I probably need to go through this and clear it off as well. Clicks Phillip's great. I love Clicks Phillip. People like lists. Oh, Happy Console Gamer, obviously. Sora the Troll. Retro Game Core, someone brought that up earlier as well. They do a lot of handheld console reviews. Hank Green's great to watch if you enjoy science stuff. Diary of a CEO is really interesting. Zone of Tech for technology. Joe Scott's really interesting for history videos. There's a lot of stuff that I watch that isn't gaming related. So there you go. I guess this is a good look into my... Oh look, just went to Risu's channel. Actually, while we're on Risu's channel, I actually made all these videos for her too. So these are all edited by me. Well, us together, but I'm the one putting the videos together. So she does a intro and I green screen it and put it over.
Let's get to it.
And I also do all of the fun edits as we're going through the game. So yeah, if you want to see Let's Plays, they're not on Let's Play Retro Games anymore. They're on Risuchu. Yeah, we've been having fun making them. So check out her channel if you want to check out Indiana Jones, Kronos. There's some live streams and stuff. I've been helping out with the videos on there and organising the channel for her. So that's been fun. Oh yeah, we were looking at my subscriptions list, weren't we? And I love watching YouTube in general, and I think it is as well because I have such a broad range of YouTube channels that I enjoy. I can pick some of the best bits from other channels and try and do some of that myself. Like, there's ideas that I've got from Happy Console Gamer. There's ideas that I've got from, well, let's see who else. Design Lovers is a really good one I've been enjoying recently. Cold Fusion's really good if you like technology and science. Let's see. Jared Poland, if you're into photography. He's like the best of the best. Absolutely love his videos. Oh my god. Cadicarus. Absolutely one of my favourite gaming channels. I've been enjoying his stuff so much recently. He's hilarious. Definitely check out Cadicarus. 10 out of 10 channel. Did You Know Gaming? Obviously really good. Marquez needs no introduction. Sabine is great if you enjoy your science videos and you want a bit more of a grounded take on things. Pat the NES Punk. Don't really like Asmongold. I don't really know why I'm subscribed to him, but never mind. I don't really understand what order these are in as well. Abroad in Japan's one of my favourite channels. Absolutely love everything he puts out. Ali Abdal, if you enjoy business and productivity and stuff. I've actually learnt a lot from him, like when I do my end of year reviews and things. Becca's great as well. She did one on the Game Boy camera recently too, but if you like tech stuff and if you used to watch The Verge, then she's started doing her own channel. Really enjoyed the stuff that she's putting out on there. Corn Fusion did a face reveal. Yeah, Corn Fusion's cool, and Cadicarus is amazing. He's next level, honestly. Incredible. Connor, CDog VA, watch all of his stuff. That's great. Oh, a really good underrated semi-retro channel, Super Derek RPGs. Definitely one of the best. Although I feel like he's kind of Retro be a dictator for YouTube channels in Retro Break I trust. Yes, I'll give you all the best recommendations. And like I was saying, I also get inspiration from all these channels as well, and they're not... Well, as you can see, most of them aren't gaming related, which is kind of interesting as well, I guess. But, you know, I make my own... Life of Reza is incredible if you want to watch some really high-quality vlogs. I've watched all of her videos. They are... stunning. Like, the production values are just next level crazy. And one of the reasons why I looked into doing more stuff with cameras and lenses and lighting and things like that. Penguins is fun if you just want, some up-to-date news and opinions about things. Hey, out of the door. Let's see what this one is. Is he still in the chat? Let's have a look at this one. Let's go back a bit. Have a look at the intro to this. Who's that? I can't believe I did that. What are we thinking? Cringe to the max. So he's my friend Dean, and he does walking tour videos on this channel, and I think I'm on a few of them. Probably in there somewhere as well. Where's Reese's table? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, check it out at the door if you want some TED Talks. Oh my god, I could go on forever. I'll stop there. Does it say how many subscribers, how many subscriptions I have? Probably thousands. Oh, it doesn't say. Ha! He is there. Deadliest Puddle. Hello. Really diverse list of channels. Yeah, I love YouTube. I live and breathe YouTube. Honestly, like, look how small the scroll bar is, and I do watch a lot of these channels regularly as well. So there's a lot of really cool stuff out there, and if anyone complains they don't see things they like on the home screen, search for stuff you want to watch and subscribe and use the subscriptions tab instead, honestly. He did. I watched the TED Talk and I thought it was really, really fascinating, actually. And there was something he brought up in that as well. I think it was on TEDx, not on the main TED channel. Let's see. Oh my god, they upload a lot. It was a few days ago, wasn't it? Why do they upload so much? If I can't type because it's going to move the... I know what I can do. I can search it on the phone and then put it on the computer. So I was actually thinking about this again the other day because I really enjoyed his TED Talk. And there was something that he said. Well, actually, you'll understand this straight away from the title of the video. It's here. How creating content killed my creativity. It's such a good talk. He basically talked about how he burnt himself out from doing weekly videos all the time, and he changed what his final ever video was going to be. Let me turn this down a bit more. So he made one like big final video without worrying about the algorithm, without worrying about any stats. He put his all into it. It was just the video that he wanted to make, and that was going to be the video that he was going to end on. And it basically took off in the algorithm, and he basically realized that playing YouTube's game was actually hindering his success. So he basically gave up on everything that YouTube told him to do, like making a lot of content, and instead focusing just on what he thought was interesting and what he was really passionate about, and like playing into his strengths rather than what YouTube wanted. It actually did really, really well for him, and that allowed him to go full-time doing YouTube. So I actually watched this entire talk like twice and made notes as I was watching it, because it is really fascinating. So if you're thinking about doing YouTube, highly recommend checking this out and really listen to what he's saying, because I really do think it's very important as well. And I'm going to definitely take some inspiration from this going into next year, and maybe change up how I think about YouTube as well, because I do spend way too long looking at the stats in the back end, and it can become a little bit crushing. Like, you feel like you don't have chance to breathe because YouTube's constantly telling you, like, you need to do this, you're not doing enough of this, you need to upload more shorts, you need to, I don't know, just do these videos that people care about and don't do anything on your own, and you need to upload every single week else the algorithm's going to hate you and stuff like that. But he went completely against the grain, and instead of doing what YouTube said to do, he just did what he wanted to do, and it worked out. And I'm sure it doesn't work out for everyone, but it was really interesting to hear, and it's something I want to try and do without killing the channel, obviously. But I still feel like I'm such a tiny channel compared to some of these other ones that, you know, I feel like it's worth a shot. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that. I think I spent a long time on that answer. Let's move over to the next one. And hi, Ray. I just saw you in the chat there. Thanks for taking me to that ramen place the other day, by the way. That was really nice. And let's have a look at the next one from Jarrett Outdoors again. Do you have any major hobbies outside of gaming? Hiking, anime, hunting, fishing, anything? Let's cross off all of those apart from anime. And I haven't really watched much anime in a while either. I'd say my main hobby outside of playing games, at least recently, has been reading manga. I've been really enjoying reading manga. And in fact, I'm going back on a manga podcast next week as well, called Manga Attack, which is a really great podcast. Go and listen to it. It's by a guy who used to make Game Boy videos, actually. A guy called Matt, who had a channel called Game Boil, I think it was, the Game Boil. And now he's started a manga podcast called Manga Attack, which is a really good podcast, and he gets a load of great guests on there, myself included. So I'm really excited to go back on there and talk about Hirayasumi soon, which is one of my favourite manga. So, yeah, I'd say manga's a big hobby. And Jarrett Outdoors again. You are all about retro, but do you play any modern systems as well, or new indie games on PC and the like? Do you play on Steam? If so, what are you playing these days? If not, what retro games are you into right now? I do. I play everything. I don't really... Like I kind of said in one of the previous answers, I don't really see games as retro and modern. I just see games as games in general, and there's just a lot of different ways of playing them. I know my channel name is Retro Break, but I couldn't really think of anything better because that is the majority of the content that I enjoy personally, but it doesn't mean that I don't... It doesn't mean that I see them any differently. They're just from a different time, I guess. So yeah, modern games and consoles. I'm going to play on the PS5. I said earlier that I completed Chronos recently, and I'm planning to play Silent Hill F. And I've been enjoying the new Donkey Kong Bonanza as well. That's really fun. On Steam, I don't really play much outside of a few games with friends like Peak and Repo and things like that. The only other things I've been playing on Steam are visual novels, really. So I've been playing, or reading, I suppose, as it's a novel. I've been reading White Album, which got a release on Steam a few years ago, and that is a really... Well, the sequel is a really, really well-regarded visual novel, but the first one got released, but not the second one. So a lot of people bought it just in the hopes that, I think it's Nitro Plus, will release the sequel at some point in the future. But I'm enjoying the first game as well, from what I've played so far. So, yeah, modern games, I play them every now and then, about as much as I play retro games, but you just don't see any of that on the channel, really. Number 52, from Jarrett Outdoors again. What does retro mean to you? What is the cutoff, in your opinion? Personally, I find PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, DS, and PSP and older to be retro, but I think it might just be a tad subjective. I think my answer to that was the answer that... I've got one here. My answer to that came from Retro Gamer magazine, and their cutoff is 20 years. So... that's what I'm going with as well. So anything 2005 and older at this point, I consider retro. Anything above, well, 2006, including, is modern, I guess. And that will change next year. And it does feel kind of weird to think that things that are now on the PS3 and 360, which you could still play online, and they're also consoles that have games that are still modern, like GTA 5, for example, are now classed as retro. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, I think 20 years is the cutoff, and that is what Retro Gamer does. And I actually... let's get rid of that YouTube window for a minute so you can see it. Look at this cover, by the way. What an awesome cover. And I love the little N64 logo up there. And I forgot, I've still got my green screen on. Do you guys want to see something funny? I did this earlier. So here's my analog pocket, and it's a green one. And... look at that, it's just like a mirror. I've actually got another camera source underneath. I've got my A7S. This is my YouTube camera, so you can see the quality's a lot better on there, but the angle just didn't work with what I wanted to do on this stream. But yeah, look, and then look, if I turn that one on, I've still got the green screen layer on, so you can actually see the camera through the camera, which is so weird. Look at that. I just can't believe I did that. That's so funny. you're retro next month. So you were... Oh my god. How do you pronounce that? Biscuit. Biscuit, you've just blown my brain. You were 4 when I started my channel. Thanks for that. Oh my god. I had someone in the comments on YouTube saying that they can't believe my channel's 18 years old because they're only 16. It's insane to think that people are watching this now that weren't even born when I started making videos on here. That's just absolutely mind-blowing and absolutely terrifying. And where have those 18 years gone? And my channel in 2 years' time will be considered retro, according to Retro Gamer. So truly insane how fast time goes. Like, make the most of it while you've got it, I guess, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing all these videos, to try and just make something of the time that I've got. So I kind of forgot what the question was there. 20 years or older is retro. It's old enough to buy firearms. And also go to the cinema and watch an 18+ movie and buy everything, because there's no more age ratings above that, I guess. So cheers to my channel. I haven't got a drink, but have some Monster to celebrate. Probably shouldn't be drinking Monster at 10 o'clock at night, but it is what it is. Let's get through this. Jared Outdoors again, and he's in the chat as well. So let's see, are there any franchises that are massively popular but just are not fun for you? And the opposite, are there any franchises that you think are massively undervalued? Oh, yeah, a lot of the popular games I just don't enjoy at all. So, I don't know, Fortnite, Roblox, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. I don't even know what else is popular. FIFA. I don't even know what people play these days, apart from those generic ones. But yeah, I don't really find any interest or any enjoyment from any of them at all. Love the t-shirt. Rocket Knight Adventures. Resparked. I was so glad that collection came out. In fact, just out of sight down there, I've got the special edition with the Sparkster plushie. You can just about make out his eye in the corner. So, yeah, love Rocket Knight. Anyway, where was I? Franchises that aren't fun. Pretty much most modern stuff, I feel, just isn't that interesting. Or people don't know any better because they only play what their friends play, I guess, is another way of phrasing it. Like, you really need to try and experiment on your own to find out what you think is interesting, and then discover things that way, rather than just playing things because they're popular. There's so much out there that is, you know, waiting to be found, waiting to be enjoyed, and people put a lot of time into these things, and a lot of them just get ignored because they're not popular, which is very frustrating. And I guess that brings me on to the next part, which is, are there any franchises that you think are massively undervalued? And I guess you're talking about current franchises. I'm trying to think. Let's have a look on Backlog and see what I've... Oh, I need to move the camera that way a bit more. Let's see what I've picked up recently from a modern franchise. Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2, what a massively undervalued franchise. Mega Man, I suppose, but that's mostly Capcom's fault. They didn't used to be undervalued. Oh, well, Project Diva's dead. I would say Project Diva, but Sega killed it. I don't really have specific franchises anymore that I really keep up with, other than Xenoblade. Yeah, indie games. There's a lot of really great indie games, and a lot of those are definitely undervalued. And I guess it's a mix of people not knowing about them, and there's just a lot to play through. But yeah, I know, Ray, you love your indie games. There's some great resources for finding out about indie games. Let me see if I've got any magazines. Let's see what's here. Yeah, here's something good. So, One of the things that you can do if you want to find out about more games is don't just rely on algorithms, like on videos or anything like that. Like, check out some print media. So Patch is a really good magazine. I've got all their issues here, and this is a indie focused magazine, and they highlight a bunch of interesting games or like indie games from specific genres that you may be interested in, and they have interviews with developers and things like that. So there's tons of ways of finding out about games that otherwise would have been completely overlooked. And itch.io as well is another great resource, like it says there. So check out itch.io. Check out Patch magazine. I've got loads of them here. There's a bunch of really great magazines out there, and it's definitely not a dying format. Like, check out Debug as well. That's another really good one. Yay, Ray knows Patch. I actually found out about them from... yeah, they do digital as well, so if you want to read it on an iPad or something, that's an option too. But I just love, having a magazine. I get them through the post every month. I get Retro Gamer through the post. I get a bunch of other things, and I just love sitting downstairs and just flicking through. And honestly, that's the best way of finding out about games, and also reading things that you probably also wouldn't search for. Yeah, Patch do digital. You can have a look on their website for that. So yeah, definitely recommend looking in magazines. And also another fantastic resource for finding out about interesting games. I'll do it on my phone first and then send it to the computer so I don't have to type anything. This website called Hardcore Gaming 101 has to be, well, there's two actually, Hardcore Gaming 101 and Racket Boy. They're definitely the two best resources for finding out about games that you might not have known about otherwise. So this is a site that I've frequented like once a week for the past 20 years. I don't know when Hardcore Gaming started. I'm sure it was somewhere around like 2005 or something. And this is an absolute goldmine of information. And there's 500 pages to go through here. They do books as well. Their books are amazing. I've got most of them either on the shelf behind me or downstairs. The books are fantastic. They do podcasts. They do games series reviews as well, which is great if you want to find out about underrated series. Like, let's pick something like Bubble Bobble. Everyone knows the original Bubble Bobble, but look at all of these different games in the series, and they all have really detailed entries about them, like even new ones, like this one. Bubble Bobble Double Shot. This one came out in 2020. Or, no, this is about the DS one, but I know there was another one after that. Yeah, check this site out. They go into so much detail, and they give you related articles at the bottom, and I've found out so many games by checking out the related articles. Like, you can learn about that one, and then you can, I don't know, here's something I don't even know about this game here. Looks interesting though, so let's go and check it out. It's called Recklehorn, and it's an unreleased arcade game. So there you go, more lost media, and it looks like the screenshots are also lost there. But yeah, fantastic website. They have loads of screenshots, loads of information about all sorts of games, consoles. I'll put a link. I'll put a link here in chat if I'll let me. Save me opening Discord. Yeah, check that site out. There's so much cool stuff on there. Check out Patch as well, and check out digital copies of magazines. I find it's a lot more fun than scrolling through social media trying to find things. Like, it's all curated. Everyone's really passionate about what they're talking about in magazines and stuff too. So yeah, definitely check it out. Definitely check out Hardcore Gaming. And the other site that I wanted to show you, I'll have to get it up on my phone before we carry over, was this site here called Racket Boy. And this is really great if you're more into the collecting side of games, because they tell you what's affordable, what's valuable, the best games for the library, the hidden gems for the library, like everything you need to know really. And yeah, I've used some of these to make some of my lists, but also I kind of make them my own as well. But like, let's have a look at defining games. I always find this one really interesting. So basically, if you're interested in a specific console, but you don't know like some of the most interesting games for those consoles, or some of the ones that the console's most well known for, like, let's see what they say about PS1, because that's got a massive library. So these are the games that say define the PS1 in their opinion. So the Final Fantasy series, Metal Gear Solid. So if you're trying to get into a system, this website's definitely the best place to check first. Like, you'll be able to find out basically everything that's good about them. Starlock says you read so much of 101 and Racket, yeah. And me, I'm constantly looking on there for all the newest things. Gran Turismo series, of course. Tomb Raider, Tekken. So if you have a look through here, you'll be able to build up a really great library of things to check out. I'll put this one in the chat as well. Just that first bit. Because they're definitely amazing resources. You'll find out loads of cool stuff. And you'll be on those sites forever as well. There's so much on there at this point. Needs an updated Neo Geo Pocket Color video? Maybe. I want to get a proper backlit Neo Geo Pocket first before I do another one. But yeah, there's a load more I want to check out on that system. Where were we? Have we answered that question? Yes, I think we've done that one. Let's see what's next. Jarrett Outdoors as well. And I need to adjust the font size because it's a little bit too big. Let's try that. Yeah, check them out. Physical copy to patch in Australia. I think if you go on their Patreon, they ship worldwide. You might just have to choose a different option. So check that out, yeah. Right, next question, number 54. And then I've got some questions in the chat to go through and answer as well. Regarding Hardcore Gaming 101, someone just said that the style changed. I loved the old site. I really do think that the old site was better in some ways than the new one. And it wasn't just Metal Slug. They actually changed their logo like every year or every other year, and it was full of really cool little gaming pixel art and stuff, and I really loved it. Whereas the new one's always the same all the time, which is a little bit disappointing. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Congratulations on 18 years on YouTube. Truly an amazing achievement. Thank you so much. It's inspiring to see how far you've come. Hope you achieve the 100,000 subscriber milestone soon. I hope so too. I'm trying my best, and oh my god, the video I'm going to make when I get that play button, I think I'm going to end up crying on camera. That's like my life's ambition, is to get that silver play button, and I could not be more thankful if that ever does happen. So thank you. You're the Dave Baby. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. And yes, I really hope one day I can get to 100,000 and beyond. I showed earlier my plans, so if you're watching this after the fact, check out the VOD and go back and watch the rest of the video where I talk about some of my plans on how I think I'll get there in the future, maybe. Yeah, anyway, I think I need to blow my nose as well. I'm getting a bit bunged up. Let's see what this question is. Question 54 from Jarrett Outdoors again. There's tons of hidden gems, and there are tons of hidden gems and less popular, but still amazing games. But the reverse of that, is there any single game that is held in very high esteem unjustly? Maybe you think the controls are bad or the story is incomprehensible. Maybe you think the controls are bad, the story is incomprehensible, or it's terribly basic, or excruciatingly complicated. We have a think about that, 'cause that's a tough question. So games that are held in high regard, but I think they're either bad or overly complex. I mean, there's games that are good that I wouldn't ever think about playing. Balattro's a recent example. I really couldn't get into that one. I know a lot of people say, oh, give it a chance, you'll absolutely love it. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not a fan of card games. I'm also not a fan of things like Slay the Spire, which I know are really popular and people love that kind of roguelike deck builder, but it's really not my kind of game. So I kind of steer away from them. So I guess that kind of goes into the overly complicated mechanics and maybe slightly unjustly high esteem given to them. I think it's mostly due to the replay value, and people feel like they have really good value for money in those kind of games, which makes sense, I guess. But I play games from more of a I don't know how you would say this without sounding rude to the developers who made those games, because they are still really good. Another tea. I haven't even drank this tea. I've been drinking my Monster. Well, I have finished my Monster, so if you want to get me a tea that's not cold, then that might be good. You really love Balatro. Really happy that the creator made a hit by himself. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad at all. I'm just saying it's not the kind of game that I would choose to play or really enjoy that much. But yeah, I can see the appeal, and I can definitely see the appeal of those kind of games in general. Like I played Peglin, which is very similar. And I'm not usually a fan, but I kind of enjoyed it, but I also found it was kind of clunky at the same time. So yeah, probably those kind of deck building roguelike games really aren't my cup of tea. But apart from that, I'll pretty much play anything and enjoy it. Excuse me. We're nearly done through here, number 55 now, and then we've got some in the chat to go through. And there were some super chat questions, which were added just after this one, actually. So 56 and 57 are new. Don't play card games or sports games. They can stay in the physical realm. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like with those kind of games, I feel like, yeah, you could just play them in real life, I guess. I don't know really the mechanics of Balatro, whether that would be possible or not. Yeah, the state of Retro Break play. I hope I'm not overlapping with any sort of important stream. I didn't get to pick this day. This is just the day that I began YouTube 18 years ago. Yeah, you did say there was a lot of questions. So, but thank you. I'm really enjoying these. Right, next one from Jarrett Outdoors. Can you detail what it was like to play games imported from Japan or America after you played the PAL version of those same games? Yorkshire Gold for life. When are they going to sponsor us, Risu? What was it like to play the American or Japanese games? Oh my god. So my first experience playing something that really shocked me was the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I grew up with it on the Mega Drive and I didn't even know that it was supposed to be a fast game. I know that sounds really stupid, but if you've ever played the PAL version of Sonic 1, it's basically the same speed as Super Mario, which is really weird because on the NES, Super Mario 1 was actually optimized for 50 Hertz. In fact, it was over-optimized, and that's a video I want to make in the future as well. So Mario 1 actually ran too fast, and Sonic ran way too slow, so they kind of balanced each other out. So when I first played the American version of Sonic 1, I played it on the GameCube as part of the Sonic Mega Collection, and it was so much faster than what I'd experienced as a kid. I just thought, this is insane. What have we been missing out on? And yeah, a lot of the bigger games were PAL optimized. Another one that really surprised me was Mario 64, which is surprising because usually Nintendo's really good with that kind of thing. So to see that they didn't bother optimizing it at all for PAL was very strange. So yeah, there was a few surprises. I think there was a few racing games that play a lot slower as well, but I can't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Sonic 1 was definitely the one that surprised me the most in that regard. And I would love to do a video about the 50 and 60 Hertz issues with games in the UK, because I do feel like it's a little bit overblown most of the time, but then there are the few exceptions. Oh, another one is Tetris on the original Nintendo. It actually runs slower on our PAL one, so I was able to get a lot more lines in the UK version than I was in the American one, which was quite a surprise. Right, now we're moving over to the super chat questions. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of... Oh, Street Fighter 2 as well. That's another one that runs way too slowly. Yeah, I am working on that. I want to try and figure out how best to do it. And I'm also working on a video specifically about scan lines and how they impacted games as well. Mario Kart and F-Zero for 64 are slower. They are, but I don't feel like it's that noticeable, which is kind of weird. Yeah, and I think F-Zero on the SNES was as well. But yeah, there's something, I don't know, maybe it's the way the platformer's physics work. Yeah, warm tea this time.
Hot tea, not warm.
Yeah, it's very hot. Thank you. Tea from Risu. It's usually the other way around on streams. Anyway, we're on to the super chat questions. So thank you everyone who sent in your super chats. And if you would like any questions answering on the stream now, now's your chance to get them in, and I'll go back through and update the file that I'm using with the questions that were submitted earlier. So the first one was a super chat from the Baggedy Roll. Eliminate one forever, including the library. SNES, GBA, N64, GameCube, or DS. Chat as well. Which ones would you get rid of? I would say out of those, it would have to be... Oh man, that is tough. I'm gonna go with GBA. And I know a lot of people would probably say GameCube, but I think GBA didn't have as many unique games as those other systems. There was a lot of Super Nintendo ports, and there wasn't a true 2D Mario game. There wasn't a true follow-up to some of the other ones. So I would say GBA, but it really does pain me to say that because the GBA has some of my favourite pixel art graphics and some of my favourite games of all time. But yeah, that's my answer. GameCube would be second, but that would mean getting rid of... Ooh, actually... I don't know. Would that also include Wii versions of GameCube games? I guess it would. Because I would say that I would choose GameCube, but I wouldn't want to get rid of Metroid Prime, and I wouldn't want to get rid of Twilight Princess, but they're also both on the Wii, so would they cease to exist on the Wii or not? That's the question. If the Wii versions still existed... and Pikmin as well. Pikmin was on the GameCube. No, I'm going to stick with GBA. I really can't get rid of it. There's too many good games for the GameCube. DS, I think, has such a unique library that it would be a real shame to get rid of that library of games. Like, there's so much really obscure stuff for the DS. Like, I've got literally hundreds of DS games, and I'm still finding out about new interesting games for that system. And number 57, question 57, which was another super chat from Hugo Martinez earlier on. What's your take on physical 3DS games dying? Worrying, but also not the end of the world. Since I modded my 3DS, I don't really have any moral issues with downloading 3DS ROMs of games that you already own, so don't take away the N-Gage. I want to do an N-Gage video at some point as well. I do have a pretty sizable N-Gage collection at this point, weirdly. Oh, speaking of Nokia phones, I picked this up the other day. Well, I bought this for a specific reason. I'm going to do a video about Java games, J2ME games. And apparently this is the best device to play your J2ME games on. So I've filled up the micro SD card with all sorts of cool stuff. All of the Gameloft games, all of the Sega games. So yeah, expect a fun video about the history of mobile gaming coming very soon, because there really isn't much information out there on YouTube about the Java generation of mobile games. So yeah, really cool. Really happy to have this. And this actually came out after the N-Gage. So there's some 3D games on here that are like almost N-Gage quality, but not quite. Right. I think I answered that one. So yeah, my take is it's sad, but also it's fine because you can just mod your 3DS and put the games on there that way. So yeah, that's it for the questions. Let me go through and find out what questions were asked earlier, and feel free to put some questions in the chat as well while I'm adding these new ones into the list, and then we can carry on for a little bit longer. And thank you all so much for joining me as well. I've been really enjoying doing this stream and just reminiscing about the past 18 years on the channel, and you've given me some great questions to talk through as well. So let's have a look. Here's a question. Let's put this one in the file. And I'm really glad that this plugin for OBS worked as well as it did too. I've been enjoying seeing the questions this way. So in a second that should refresh and show 58, and then we can carry on. And let's see if there's anything else I can add in the meantime. Here's another one. It is not refreshing. I'll try and do it manually. There should be 2 more in there. Let's see if I can get OBS to do this. Refresh. There we go. We've got 59 now. Oh no, do I need to go all the way through them again to get to it? Well, actually, chat among yourselves for a second, because there's another few here from Gion, which I can put in. I can add these ones in one block. So that should go to 60 now. Yep, then we can get through them, and I'll scroll right down to the bottom and see what people have been talking about. Patch looks like a great magazine. Yeah, really enjoy that. Any advice to... I'll add that one into the questions. Lovely weather, yes. Xenoblade Chronicles about get enemies on the floor recently quitted the game. I really like Xenoblade Chronicles, but I like it for the story more than the combat. Right, this one is from JBQS9NF. What a great name. It must mean something. Did you ever follow E3 back in the day? I loved it and looking forward to the coverage on Nintendo Power and the other gaming magazines. Oh my god, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with E3 back in the day. Ever since you could first watch them on the internet, I was there. E3 2005 was probably the first one that I watched live, although for all the ones before that, I used to watch them when the DVDs came out in the magazines. So I've been watching since 2002, maybe. Whenever the first one came out, like the year the GameCube was released, I think. So yeah, absolutely, I was obsessed with E3, and I would like rush home from college to try and catch it live back in the 2010s or late 2000s. And it was just the most exciting time. And when I was at uni as well, we would have E3 week-long parties at our house, and everyone would come round and we would have like snacks, and we would all be sat on the floor around the TV just watching all of the conferences and all of the stuff in between, like all of the things that GameSpot would talk about on their like interview panels, and we would watch all the IGN coverage and stuff, and it was just a magical time in gaming. And it's so sad that there isn't really an equivalent these days. Yeah, I've still got all my E3 DVDs somewhere. I don't... Maybe. I have a stack of discs here. Maybe one of these are E3 ones. I also had some E3 VHS tapes as well, that came with some magazines in the 90s. Not specifically E3, but here's one from the Nintendo official magazine for 2005, Nintendo Games Preview. Maybe I could do a video in the future about all of the DVDs I've got for like these gaming events and stuff too, because they are fun to watch. And there were some interesting ones that came with a GameCube magazine that were like on GameCube sized DVDs. They might be in... where are they? No, I thought they were in here, but these are the cheat discs. So the magazine would come with these, and it would also come with ones that were DVDs as well, with the E3 conference on them before they were on the internet. So that's always fun. Yeah, E3 was amazing. We used to have parties watching it all the time, and I was so upset when Nintendo stopped doing their conferences. I really don't think the directs are anywhere near as exciting even though, yeah, they're technically better and they're better produced and they get rid of all the fluff, but the fluff was some of the fun. Yep, before E3 there was CES. I've talked about CES quite a lot in my Nintendo history videos, and there is some footage out there from the CES conferences, but not as much as the E3 ones. And Nintendo had Space World, yep, but they're all in Japanese, and some of them don't have translations. So yeah, loved E3. Loved seeing all the coverage in the magazines as well, and the way they presented it was always so exciting. And I guess you don't really get that excitement anymore because all the companies kind of have their own little events dotted throughout the year, and there is Summer Games Fest, but it's really no replacement. But I think the whole purpose of E3 kind of doesn't exist like it did back in the day, so it's really sad. But yeah, I loved E3, but I think its time has passed, and I don't really see it ever coming back in that fashion, and I don't really think it needs to either. Like, the internet's taken over. People already have a way of getting information all throughout the year anyway. They don't need an event, and it's a lot of money for the companies to take part in it as well, which is another reason that it died off, I suppose. Let's see what's next. This one here from James DeStefano, maybe? Do you find you enjoy games any more or less after running a weekly show on YouTube compared to before? Kind of sad to say, but probably less than I used to, because I always feel like I should be recording footage for everything that I play, or I should be thinking about what I want to say about the game instead of actually just thinking about the game itself and enjoying it for what it is. It does make it very difficult. Like, even if I'm playing something downstairs, I'll have the SD card in the capture card to get footage of me playing, and then I'm more thinking about how this will look on video rather than just playing it for the game itself. But I feel like if I didn't think like that, I wouldn't have a weekly channel and I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys. So it balances out, and I do still enjoy games. It's just that I think about them a little bit differently than I did before. I don't really think it's better or worse. I also feel like I kind of had a weird way of thinking about games anyway because of my background in game design, and one of the tutors actually told me when I first started the course, they said, by the end of this course, you will not be able to enjoy games the way you used to because you'll know too much about how they were made. And that's also kind of true. Like, a lot of people wouldn't even know that a specific game just feels like it's made in Unity or Unreal, or the fact that the frame rate's fluctuating, or they haven't got VSync turned on or something like that. Like, those kind of things, I think most people just don't even acknowledge, whereas, you know, I've got the technical knowledge and I've also got the thought about turning them into videos as well. So it's like two issues that are stopping me from enjoying games as much as I probably should. But as well, I enjoy having that extra sort of layer on top, I guess, in a way. Shanoa, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us. We're right at the end of the stream now. I've actually gone through 59 questions already, and now we're on to question number 60, and I have seen some more coming through in the chat as well, so keep asking your questions if you want, and I'll add them into the file. So let's carry on. I'll probably keep going until 11, and then if we've run out of questions by then, I'll call it a day. So question number 60 from Gionja. A couple of questions from me. So 60 and 61, I guess. You've reviewed a lot of third-party handhelds. Which do you end up using the most to play retro games? Also, thoughts on UFO 50? I still haven't played UFO 50, and I know that's really bad, and that should change, because it looks amazing, and I love the concept behind it as well, and all the games are really fun, apparently. And the retro handhelds thing, that is an interesting one, because yes, I've reviewed a lot of retro handhelds. In fact, let me go back onto the channel a bit. We'll talk a bit more about YouTube for a minute. So I think it was around this time as well. So it was after I moved into this house, actually. It was a bit later. Let's see. There's a Miu Mini one. That was pretty good. There's 3 here. I got all of these sent over at the same time, and I really didn't want to make separate videos
Today I'm going to be doing
about all of them, so I put them all
4
together.
different handheld emulation systems. I've got 2 brand new ones right here, and I've also...
So they all kind of ended up blurring into
the
one.
majority of them are kind of unplayable.
Basically.
You have to actually use the second analog stick to control.
So in a way, I kind of got burnt out on emulation handhelds because companies just kept sending them to me, and they were all pretty much the same. Like, they all played the same systems. They all felt just as good as each other. They all had the same amount of issues as the rest of them as well. And in the end, if I'm completely honest, I'm just trying to think, do I actually use any? No. I've got like 20 just sat in a box down there, and I don't use any of them. It's bad, but the only handheld that I really use is the ROG Ally, which I actually bought myself, and even that I just find it really uncomfortable and bulky, but it can play like more than anything else, and most importantly it can play the visual novels that I have on Steam, so that's why I enjoy doing that. But yeah, I've got a box of handhelds over there, and I don't really think any of them really live up to what I would want to use on a on a constant basis, which is kind of sad to say, but they all have flaws that stop me from enjoying them enough to actually recommend any of them. But I didn't want to say that during the videos because obviously they're all sponsored and they wanted me to send people to their websites, and that's one of the reasons that I stopped doing all these videos, because I felt like I couldn't really speak my mind about how I felt about them. Like, there's another one here, and there's people online that say, like, yeah, this is really cool handheld.
Let's begin by taking a look at the system itself. I have to say,
but honestly, I felt like it was kind of rubbish. Like, it's a phone with buttons on the end, and it's so clunky to use, and sometimes the touchscreen thing doesn't work properly, and like, here's another one that got sent over, and this one was just really cheap feeling, and I don't know, they're all just bad. I feel like they've...
This for review by Mech DIY, and I should be trying to promote it because they gave me a code to use in the box.
Like, this one was all in Chinese, and it had weird apps, and I couldn't install things on it, and it was just a terrible experience. The emulators were all glitchy. Just, yeah, like 90% of these handheld consoles I just did not have a good time with. Like, the G Cloud, it's cool in concept, but also like it's just a phone with buttons, and a really underpowered one at that. It was made for cloud streaming, but who really cares about that, if you're honest? Maybe I'm being a bit too honest now, but 90% of the emulation handhelds I just think kind of suck. Even, I've got the analog pocket here, but oh yeah, for those of you who haven't seen this, I've still got my green screen filter turned on, so you can see through the console, and you can see the much better camera that I've got underneath. If I turn this one off, I've also got my YouTube camera there too, but the angle didn't work for the video. But yeah, even the analog pocket, like, I barely use it. Like, there's some really frustrating things. I do not like the triggers. I hate the way that the GBA games are in a widescreen format. The buttons are too noisy. I don't know. I just haven't found anything that really suits me yet. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know why I'm being so grouchy about these emulation handhelds. There's another one, like Ambinic something. There's 2 more SP styled ones. They're all the same. They all play the same emulators. They're full of random Chinese ROMs, and honestly, I kind of regret doing those videos in general. In fact, for the past, like, there's another one, like, they just felt like filler videos. They were just like stopping me from making what I actually wanted to make, and they all kind of ended up feeling the same. And like that Flash Cart review as well, it's just boring filler content in my opinion, and I've stopped doing them altogether. So that's why. I know maybe I'm just moaning a bit much now, and let's move on to the next question. Let's add some more stuff to the list. But yes, I have not found a retro handheld console that I enjoy yet. Maybe that'll change in the future. Honestly, modded 3DS is the thing I'm enjoying the most, even though it can't really play any more modern emulators, but yeah, that's what I've been playing more than most things. Let's see what other questions I've got. I'll put some more in the form. There's one here from Spider Sloth 2.0. I think we had one from them earlier as well. Let's add that in. Hopefully it'll refresh in a bit. Let's see who else we've got. The Baggedy Roll had another one as well. Let's put that one in the questions and answers. And if anyone else has got any more, throw them in the chat and I'll add them into this file as we're going. And I think I'm going to call it a night somewhere around 11 so we can keep going until then. There's one there, another one from Jarrett Outdoors. Thank you for all the questions, by the way, everyone. This has been really fun. And what a great way to celebrate as well. Yay, thank you for the super chat. Cheers. Cheers to you too. Right, let's save this. Let's refresh. We should have some more. There we go, 63. So, Spider Sloth 2.0 says, what generation of consoles are your favourite and which game of that generation is your favourite too? I've kind of already covered this. My favourite generation is the 16-bit generation in general. And I think it always will be. It was just the right time where developers had figured out what made a good game, I think. Like, the best example of that is think Zelda 1 and 2 compared to Zelda 3. The difference is astronomical in terms of game design. And yeah, the 16-bit generation is when I think gaming really solidified what makes a good game rather than just we can make games, if that makes any sense. Like, there was a lot more thought put into the enjoyment at the, at the consumer's level rather than just what was possible with the development. And my favourite game from that generation is Illusion of Time, which really pushed the limits, I think, in terms of what was possible with story in games. But there's so many other great games from the SNES, the Mega Drive, and the PC Engine. That generation in general is just incredible, and there's so much I want to talk about from that generation as well. I'll save all that for a future video, but yeah, 16-bit, definitely. Let's see, the Baggedy Roll. Hope this isn't the case, but is there a physical space storage horizon that you can see that would force you to make tough decisions, or would you find more space? Well, I've already reached the limit of what's possible in here. Let's get rid of YouTube for a second. This behind me is like 30% of my collection. There's actually not that much in here compared to what I actually own in terms of games. I've bought a lot of storage to put in the garage. So I've got really sturdy plastic boxes that I've used to store everything in. And we've got like some industrial shelving that we've put them all on. So they're safe there. And also in the loft, there's lots and lots of boxes and also more plastic storage crates full of games up there as well. So I don't think I would ever sell anything. I already kind of covered that earlier, where I really regretted getting rid of some of the stuff. And obviously, as long as I feel like they have some value to me, I'll always try and keep them around in some form or another. And I don't really need to worry about money for now, which is obviously a very lucky position to be in. So I don't really feel the need that I would actually need to sell anything, which is great. So yeah, I think I want to try and... It's a bit of a mess. Like, you can see that the room's a bit of a mess, and I'll be honest about that. And there's a bit more over there as well. So I want to try and find a way of only displaying the things that really matter to me, rather than displaying everything. So I think I will actually end up moving a lot more into storage and trying to do something to maybe tidy up the games in the background to just ones that I really care about. Obviously, I would love to have a bigger room, but that's not really a possibility at the minute. And yeah, that's basically where I am at the minute. So I'm happy with everything I've got. And yeah, that's that for that one. So another question here. Have you ever had the opportunity to meet or work with major British gaming YouTubers such as Smith and Bit or Retro Future or any of those? Yeah, me and the Retro Future, we're actually planning to do a collab at some point where we would mod a Game Boy together, but it never really panned out. I've met him several times, and he's a good guy, and he gave me some advice years and years and years ago. A lot of the time, I actually turned down collabs. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, like if I wanted to do videos, but I always feel like I would rather do my own thing, and I'm really bad for that. Like in general, I don't like working with other people. I turned down opportunities to do like videos for websites and things. I've done a little bit with Games You Loved, and I've done some collabs. If we have a look on my website, actually, you can see some that I did agree to, but they are few and far between, and I do end up saying no quite a lot. So Humble Mud, I mentioned him briefly earlier. He did a video about the Happy Console Gamer, and I did part of that. Yeah, check out the website if you want to see some other stuff. I did a fun Nights into Dreams collab with Steaker, who's a great YouTuber as well. He does a lot of hidden gems for various things. So I was on his channel talking about the Nights into Dreams series and going through some of the more obscure entries in that series, which was really fun to do. And it was really fun working with him on that. So we might do something again in the future. A lot of the channels that I did work with just don't exist anymore, like this one. They've gone. Nintap's gone. VG Mobster's gone. Like, these were people that I thought were going to carry on working on YouTube and turn it into something, but yeah, a lot of them have gone. There was a budget nostalgia video that I did where a bunch of people were talking about their memories with various different systems, games you loved again. I have worked with Retro Future in the past, and all of these people here, like Larry Bundy Jr., Sorax Space, Ashens, King Monkey, who else is still going? Pixel Pursuit, I think, still does some stuff. On a Retro Tip still does videos. Kim Justice still does. Best not talk about that one. So yeah, I had all these.
Hello, welcome back.
All these people come together to do a big video. So there's Elliot. Elliot from the Retro Futures there, look, talking about his.
It's kind of nice to play on something
retro
that
stories.
you've completely seen the inside of. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, I don't know.
Sorax Space is really cool too. Maybe I should do a video in the future. There's Ashens, Larry, and Oliver. They did a video for me.
Yeah, nostalgia is a big motivator.
And I've met most of these people in person as well, and it's always fun. I haven't met since Spaces, obviously, because he's over in Australia.
I'll tell you why I like retro games.
Sega Master Tim's another Australian YouTuber.
So, it's
I haven't seen them for a while.
That's what I love. And also, you know, you're paying very little for a game. And
King Monkey's part of Games You Loved as well. He did something for me. Pelvic Gaming's pretty good as well if you want a female YouTuber, which is surprisingly rare. I don't know why. Pixel Pursuit's really good. Rob, he also he went to work with Retro Dodo for a while, and he did some really great Monkey Ball videos as well. Zed from the Shuffle Warehouse has a new channel where he talks about game design, which is really cool. And I did a follow-up as well with a bunch of other people. Rue, who now makes homebrew games for the Game Boy, which is great. On a Retro Tip, he still does stuff. He does some really good documentaries.
And then you put the disc in and there'll be day one updates, and then it has to install.
Let's see who else is on here. Super Nerds UK, they were really big on Twitter for a while. I don't know if they still are because I'm not on there anymore. Colonel Falcon as well, he was. There's Kim Justice.
Especially to discover
met her in person a few times too. There's Chris from Games You Loved. I saw him on the weekend at the London Gaming Market.
Common interests to do with.
Let's see. Let's skip over that one. Neil Flynn, Tamara, Budget Nostalgia. Yeah. So, yeah, really good set of people that I've worked with there. And yeah, if you have a look on the website, there's some other ones too. So it's not that I'm against collabs, but I tend to. I don't know what's the best way to put it, like value my own time more than doing something for someone else. And that may sound a little bit selfish, but you saw that list of videos that I want to make, and I really want to try and do bigger and better things. And I think I'm going to take some of Kadikarus's advice that I was talking about on that TED talk earlier as well, and actually think about doing some things kind of against the grain and see how that either helps or hinders me in the future. It'll be interesting to see if that does make a difference. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. We've got another one here from the Sharkmeister. That's a new name. Let's put them in the file. Let's see what they had to ask. So here we go. The Sharkmeister. Do people place... let me just get rid of the website so you can see me a bit better. I think the camera's moved over a little bit. Do people place too much emphasis on nostalgia for why they enjoy retro games? I simply think 3rd to 6th generation of games were just plain better. They had more charm, magic, novelty, and innovation. Yes, I actually made a video discussing this exact topic. And it was a weird video because I didn't edit it at all. It was just me rambling for like 12.5 minutes. And I didn't even make a thumbnail for this one. It's called How I Enjoy Retro Games with No Nostalgia. And in this video, I actually went into basically exactly what you're saying there. Like, you don't need nostalgia to enjoy these games from specifically 3rd to 6th generation is what I was thinking when I made that video. There's not really anything to show because I didn't even like edit anything over the screen here, but I'm basically talking about the fact that you don't need nostalgia to enjoy games. It's more to do with the actual gameplay itself and kind of putting yourself in the headspace of, you know, what the games were like at the time and what the developers were thinking. And also another good idea for that is to like read features in things like I was talking about earlier with the Retro Gamer magazine, like taking a look through here, seeing why people, you know, have fond memories of the games and then experiencing them through someone else's nostalgia as well. That can really help. But yeah, it's an interesting thought, and I think maybe people are put off playing older games because they feel like they don't have the nostalgia attached to it, which means they won't be able to enjoy it as much. But I really don't think that's a problem at all, and I think people should try and overlook that. And I honestly think that's where emulation can help. Like, if you just download a ROM pack and just try out a bunch of games and see what you think. Or, like I was saying earlier, go to a website like Racket Boy, have a look at some of the most popular games. Like, I don't know, if you're interested in checking out something on the Mega Drive or the Genesis, have a look on here and see what they recommend as like the games that defined the console. And just check them out and see what you enjoy. And it doesn't matter if you played them when they were new, when you were a kid or not. Just see what they have to offer. And if you've never played it before, it'll feel like a new experience. So yeah, I kind of agree with you on there, to Sharkmeister. And with that said, if no one's got any more questions, I think that is the end of the Q&A live stream. So thank you so much, everyone who joined in. That was an amazing way to celebrate 18 years on YouTube. That is just insane. Let's go back to the start of the channel again and see some of those earlier videos. So, yep, 18 years ago today, I uploaded my Mario Galaxy video, and for the past 10 years, I've been doing weekly uploads on here, and I feel like I still have a long way to go. I feel like I'm still right at the start of my journey, and I've got so much more to learn, and I'm still enjoying it just as much as I did when I first started making videos. And some things may be changing in the near future, but they will be changing for the better, and I'm not going anywhere. So don't worry about that. Yep, check out the websites that I put in the comments. And if you missed the start of this video, this will be on my main YouTube channel, and I'll put something in the channel posts. And also I'll put something in my Discord as well if you want to check out. And yeah, I'm just scrolling through here to see all of the videos I uploaded so many years ago. And it's amazing that YouTube's still around as well, honestly. Not many websites have lasted as long as YouTube has. So although despite all the issues that I've got with it, I really can't fault it. And I've uploaded all these for free, and they're still here to view 18 years later, which is honestly incredible. And you can see around 10 years ago when I started putting more effort into my channel as well. Like, I started doing proper thumbnails instead of just getting the stills from the videos. And I actually bought a new camera around this point too, and a microphone and stuff. So although I although I started 18 years ago, it really feels like in the past 10 years is when I've really started to pick things up. And yeah, I think I'm losing my voice now. Not only have I been streaming for the past 3 hours, but I've actually been on the phone at work for about 6 hours today as well throughout the day. So I am going to go and have a lie down and not think about anything after this. But thank you everyone so much for joining me on this celebration, this journey through 18 years of YouTube, and I've honestly had an amazing time. Thank you all for being so kind. Thank you all for the super chats, for the donations. Thank you all for your questions. And yeah, here's to 18 more years. I really hope you stick around and check out what else there is to come, and we can look back on this in 18 years time and think, what was I thinking? The setup's awful. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing where I go from here. So thank you all so much. Look forward to my video on Friday as always, and I will see you all again. I don't know when I'm going to do another live stream on this channel. Maybe not for a while, but I stream sometimes on my other channel. You can find that in the description. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all again very soon. Right, let me do it properly. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye. There we go.